football in the South Atlantic Conference and not be a bad team. So I think everything that they have coming their way is well justified.
You know, and I think a lot of people would say, the people that I've talked to of late, we just talked to the Carson Newman people, Newberry people, and now the Wingate people, and everybody's kind of saying, you know, it's fortunate for us this year because the league is down. I don't necessarily think that's true, and I don't want to put that asterisk next to what Wingate has done. They have been the most solid, best team in this conference this year. And the teams are starting to really develop. Carson Newman and Catawba, you look at the regional rankings, and we said this 2 weeks ago. Carson Newman wins out. They've got a legitimate shot at making that thing.
Well, if you take a look, you've got the top 7 teams in the Super Region go. 6 teams played, number 1 gets a bye. Right now, Catawba is in the playoff picture. They're fairly well seated going into today. Carson Newman is ranked number 8. If they win today and move up into that 7th spot, then that would be 3 teams in the South Atlantic Conference potentially getting playoff bids whenever those come out later on.
And this is what happened last week. Mars Hill gets a big win against Pembroke, 56-44. Catawba sneaks by Newberry, 17-13. They scored late. Carson Newman defeats LR, 42-28, and Wingate destroyed Limestone, 44-20. So in order to get in, we're going to know pretty much what's going on because everybody's playing the same time today, basically. And we'll start with the boys down in Mossy Creek. We were impressed with them in the rain, in the wind. They ran the ball well. They're the top rushing team in the South Atlantic Conference. And based on what we know, they should get that win. They should get their 8th win of the season and look pretty good. And it would be tough for the committee to keep a Carson Newman team out of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Carson Newman coming into today 7-3, 5-2. And oddly enough, I checked last year because this year's standings look nothing like the end of the season last year's standings. Carson Newman being the big gainer, they've moved up 5 spots from where they finished last year. Going into today, trying to get into that top 7 in the Super Region, playing UNC Pembroke at home. I like their chances of playing next week.
The other playoff team right now will play at 1:30 as well. The LR Bears, Catawba, and I think there's too much O'Brien. I think there's too much defense for Catawba, even though they face the number 2 rusher in the South Atlantic Conference today.
I mean, this should be a very good matchup. Two matchups, or a match of historical significance. Catawba College started out life. The reason it's called Catawba is they were over in Catawba County and right next to Hickory, where Lenore Ryan is, and playing at home today, they've got everything to play for. They're trying to maintain where they are, maybe get at least a tie for 2nd in the conference, and just keep their place in the playoffs. Lenore Ryan trying to be the spoiler.
2 disappointing teams this year. They're down below right now. The Pioneers tied 2-4 in league play, and these 2 teams, I think, are actually 1-5 and 2-4. I think these 2 teams were expected to have much better seasons this year. It's tough though for Newberry when you change a quarterback the way you have, and for Mars Hill, they're the enigma. They're just the question mark. I'm not exactly sure really what happened to them, but they're just trying to finish out the season today.
Well, it is, and we talked about Carson Newman being the big winner, or Newberry has been the big loser. Last year, South Atlantic Conference champions, 7-0. Coming into today, they're 2-4. They've fallen 5 spots down the ladder. Mars Hill finished top half of the league this year. They're still trying to get just their 2nd conference victory going into today.
So that's tough. And then you've got the Wingate Bulldogs, conference champions, 2nd time all-time in school history, looking for their first ever undefeated season. They have the number 1 rusher, the number 5 rusher in the league in yards per game, and Lawrence Pittman is a beast. Last year, Joe remembers it well, the remnants of Hurricane Matthew game. The Wingate Bulldogs shut out the Pioneers for the first time in 119 games. That streak ended. It was 19-0, that final when Wingate won it. It's just an ugly game. 2nd half was bad, but Pittman didn't get to finish that game. He tore an ankle up pretty bad, ended his season. Through 6 games, he still finished as the league's rushing touchdown leader. Didn't even finish the year. Didn't play the next 5 games. So that just shows you what type of a player he is.
Well, I mean, it was a bad enough injury. I still remember he was down on the left-hand side of the field, kind of about where the numbers are, somewhere in the neighborhood of the 20-25 yard line. They're trying to get him taken a look at with that injury. Today's going to be a challenge for the Pioneers, but if you look back over the last 3 contests between Tusculum and Wingate, even that 19-0 game last year, fairly close. Year before that, 26-17 Tusculum. Year before that, 14-10 Pioneers. So this has been a really good series for Tusculum College.
Last time a ranked opponent that the Pioneers defeated, they were the Wingate Bulldogs. Nearly 2 years to the date. on this field when the Pioneers got that 26-17 victory. Can Jerry Odom get his first win against Wingate all time? I guess we'll find out. We're 29 minutes away from kickoff here for Armed Forces Day, Senior Day, as Tusculum battles conference champion Wingate. That's still to come with our own thoughts on how are we going to defeat this team today. We'll find out from Brian Ferguson. Joe and I will be back with our keys, and still to come, Jerry Odom and the last word presented by Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda. This is Pioneer Football. This is Tusculum and Wingate here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family. The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, one team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. Tusculum College is Tennessee's first college. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where students from all around the world have found a home. Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit online for more information at tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 and discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
And now we honor our football seniors. Corey Cantrell has served as a student assistant this past season. He is a pre-med major and is a member of the athletic director's honor roll. He is the son of Jeff and Candy Cantrell. From Goodlettsville, Corey Cantrell. Evan Altizer will leave Tusculum as one of the top receiving and special team threats in program history. In his 41 career games, he has made 66 receptions for 1,344 yards, which are 15th in TC history. He has 10 touchdown catches, and his 20.36 yards per catch average is the best in school history. On special teams, he holds the program record with 83 punt returns, is second in total punt return yardage, and his 8.16 career punt return average is 7th in the TC record book. An outstanding student where he is a two-time COSIDA academic all-district selection. He is majoring in English and is the son of Bob Altizer and Vicky Cinto. From Weddington, North Carolina, Evan Altizer. Kyle Bailey has appeared in 18 games on the defensive line, where he has been credited with 12 tackles. He is majoring in exercise science and is a member of the SAC Commissioner's Honor Roll and the Athletic Director Honor Roll. From Decatur, Georgia, Kyle Bailey. Seth Batzel has starred on the offensive line this past 4 seasons, where he has played in 33 career games, including 7 this year, before his season was halted due to injury. He is majoring in criminal justice and is the son of Reed and Shirley Batzel. From Franklin, Seth Batzel. Malik Brewer has seen playing time on both the defensive and offensive lines. He started his career in the defensive trenches, where he made 36 tackles, including 2 for loss and a sack to go along with a fumble recovery. He moved to the offensive line in 2016, where he has seen action in 11 contests. He is majoring in political science and is the son of Aliyah Hakeem and the grandson of Yusuf and Basima Hakeem. From Chattanooga, Malik Brewer. Lakeith Brown is wrapping up one of the finest careers by a Tusculum linebacker. His 326 career tackles are the 4th most in school history. The 2015 South Atlantic Conference Defensive Freshman of the Year led the league in tackles last season. His 37 career tackles for loss are 7th in school history, while he is ranked 3rd with 8 forced fumbles and 8th in fumble recoveries. He is majoring in sports science and is the son of Hope Young. From Athens, Georgia, Lakeith Brown. Tyler Brown has recorded 3 career tackles, including a career-best 2 sacks in this year's win over Shorter. He is majoring in creative writing and is son of Kenneth and Mary Brown. From Rockwood, Tyler Brown. Hunter Cantrell has been a mainstay on the Tusculum special teams, where he has established school records with his 237 punt attempts and 9,331 punting yards. His 39.37 punting average is 4th in school history. His 67 punts inside the 20-yard line are amongst the school's all-time leaders. He is a COSIDA academic all-district selection and is majoring in environmental science. He is the son of Ed and Delisa Cantrell. From Sparta, Hunter Cantrell. Jose Esparza has been a part of the program since 2014. He has connected on 20 of his 24 career extra point attempts, and his 32 career points are the 10th most by a Tusculum kicker. He is majoring in criminal justice and is a member of the athletic director honor roll. He is the son of Perfecto Ortiz and Maria Esparza. From Dandridge, Jose Esparza. Evan Gates has been a dual threat during his 40-game career. His first 3 seasons were on defense, where he posted 41 tackles with 3 for loss and a sack. He moved to offense this year and leads the team with 35 receptions for 433 yards and 3 touchdowns. He is majoring in sports science and is the son of Frederick and Gina Gates. From Charlotte, North Carolina, Evan Gates. Corey Gillum has seen action in 26 games on the offensive line, including 8 games this season. He is majoring in criminal justice and is the son of Karen Loader and Kelly Gillum. From Atlanta, Georgia, Corey Gillum. Jalen Kesterson played his first 2 Tusculum seasons as a tight end before moving to defensive line in the last 2 years. He has recorded 39 tackles, including 5 for loss, 1 sack, 4 forced fumbles, and recovered 3 fumbles, which are 8th in school history. He majored in sports science and is a member of the athletic director's honor roll. He is the son of Jeff Kesterson and Kathy Brown. From Mossheim, Jalen Kesterson. Eric Lynch has appeared in 34 games with the Pioneers. He came to Tusculum as a quarterback and made the transition to receiver, where he has been credited with 23 receptions for 283 yards and a pair of tackles. He is majoring in sports management and is the son of Todd and Jackie Lynch. From Matthews, North Carolina, Eric Lynch. Ian O'Grady has been Tusculum's starting long snapper for the past 4 seasons. Playing in 43 career games, the 2017 preseason all-conference selection has tallied 10 career tackles on special teams. He is majoring in accounting and is a member of the athletic director's honor roll. He is the son of Glenn and Jane O'Grady. From Orlando, Florida, Ian O'Grady. DJ Samuels has played in 6 games where he has rushed for 139 yards on 33 carries and a touchdown. He is majoring in business management and is the son of Donovan Samuels Sr. and Aretha Samuels. From Winchester, DJ Samuels. Cody Santmyers has appeared in 19 games in his career, including 5 times this year on the offensive line. He is majoring in business administration and is the son of Sean and Stacy Santmyers. From Flowery Branch, Georgia, Cody Santmyers. Matt Simon has played in 38 career games where he has totaled 127 tackles, 13 for loss, with 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and an interception. Against Limestone this year, he returned both an interception and a fumble for touchdowns, becoming the first player in school history to achieve the feat. He is majoring in sports science and is the son of Mac and Audrey Simon. From Lithonia, Georgia, Mac Simon. Our final senior, Martez Tompkins, has been the Pioneers' top pass defender in the secondary. In his 37 career games, he has totaled 92 tackles with 2 forced fumbles and 3 recoveries. His 8 career interceptions are the 4th most in school history, while his 150 interception return yards are 2nd in the Tusculum record books. He is also 5th all-time with his 26 career passes defended. He is majoring in sports management and is the son of Joseph Nunn and Eula Tompkins. From Atlanta, Georgia, Martez Tompkins. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for the senior class of 2017. Fans, for your safety and the safety of players, coaches, and officials, standing or sitting on the sidelines or at field level is prohibited. Fans are asked.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
You know, your seniors leave, your freshmen come in, your transfers come in. So this team will never be the same after today. So we have to do a great job of caring about these seniors, loving one another, trying to find a way to get a W for them.
All right, so Wingate team that obviously they're doing something right. They haven't lost a football game.
Yeah.
Let's start on with their offense. No matter who they're going to put back there as their trigger man, they're very balanced offense, run, pass, and they spread the ball around in their passing game as well. Can you make them one-dimensional? And is there a plan to try to do that?
I mean, we're going to try. Obviously, nobody's done that very well. I mean, they're averaging almost 200 yards a game rushing and 150, 60 yards a game passing. They're going to, the running game. When you have two 230-pound running backs behind a very good veteran offensive line with a 260-pound tight end, the good things are going to happen. And I think that's what you're seeing. They're not going to wow you with what they do schematically, in the sense in the running game. They're going to run power, counter, and zone, outside zone, and a little bit of inside zone, and they're going to try to do it better than you. I mean, and they have, and they've got big backs to prove it, and it's a battle of attrition. And so I told the guys, it can't be a 30-minute game. It can't be a 45-minute game. It's got to be a 60-minute game, because I felt like against Carson Newman a couple weeks, we played like a 50-minute game or 55-minute game, and they kind of washed out at the end. And that can't happen. We cannot let that happen. We have to go out and we have to compete for 60 minutes and leave it all out in the field for the very last time as a 2017 group. And this group's done some good things, and I'd love one more to put on the mantle so that we can, consider it a pretty successful season, or at least a growth season into the next thing. It's not near as successful as I want or this team wants, but we understand, how we, kind of the injury situation, and this, we let 2 games get away from us. We don't let those 2 games get away from us. We still may be sitting here fighting for a playoff berth, and this would be a little bit different thing, a little bit different setting, but it is what it is, and we got to try to make sure that we go out the right way.
Pittman, Hayes, focal point in the backfield, that part of their running game, which is why it made them so successful on those guys up front. How do you try to slow it down?
Well, I mean, be sound, attack it. Play vertically, don't play horizontally against the zone. They do a great job on over blocks and double team cutoffs and building a wall on the backside. It's how you should run the outside zone. Is you want to get them stretched front side, build a wall on the backside, then look for the cutback, and they do a good job. We got to find different ways to make them go east and west, line up in different looks, but still not give our kids so much that they can't get aligned and play smart and do the things that we hopefully do well or we're trying to do better. I think it's a situation where, if we can make them go east and west and give ourselves a chance, they're going to crack, they're going to make corners, got to tackle. Everybody's got to put their big boy pads on this week. That's what I told them. I said, you can't have in your contract that you're not going to tackle anybody. That's not in anybody's contract. We all get to tackle. And I think the kids have tried to embrace that, and moving forward, I think we've got a good plan. We just got to execute.
All right, it's a team for Wingate offensively. Carson Newman 4-point win, Catawba 3-point win, Pembroke 3-point win. Then all of a sudden they go on this stretch where they put up 40 points, starting fast.
Yeah.
Do we have to start faster than that?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there's a point to starting fast, and we have to keep ourselves in the game. We got to be able to get it in the fourth quarter where it's a close football game and have a chance to win. I think if we do that, then good things are going to happen for us. I really believe that. This team's worked too hard and fought too much adversity for good things not to happen. Good Lord's going to be shining, hopefully, on the Pioneers on Saturday, their Pioneer Field, and I think we just got to go fast and we got to be balanced on our offense. Got to be able to run the ball some, got to be able to throw it, protect the quarterback, just the basics of football. They're not going to wow you on what they're doing defensively. They play quarters, they play a little cover 3, they'll play a little bit of trap 2, and then up front they're going to be an over and under front team. Linebackers are solid. They're very much like their coach. Steady, solid, strong. I have a ton of respect for Joe. I think he does an outstanding job. Him and the staff do an outstanding job schematically. I just think they're a version of him, and who he is. Very, hey, drive the bus on offense, make sure that bus is rolling. We got to find a way to get a couple flat tires on that bus, and hopefully make them, throw through the air and not give up the big play. Because when they do throw, they like to throw the ball deep. They don't throw great intermediate routes, or they've got it, but they don't have the schematics of it. Aren't crazy or anything like that, but we've got to be able to not get beat on deep balls like we did in the last couple weeks ago over here.
All right, let's check in on their defense a little bit more.
Okay.
Underrated, I think, in what they do, because you're very right, very sound, and I think a very sound team makes for a very good defense. They make a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage, and I know that we're asking guys to come off the street, play offensive line right now. How do we give Alex the time, and how do whoever's going to run the football open up a hole? How do we do that this week against them?
Well, it's not quite off the street. It's close. Maybe off the campus somewhere. I don't know. But we just, we'll have to max protect some. We'll have to chip. We'll have to, with the backs, we'll have to do some different things, getting the ball out of his hands in different ways. But we've got to be able to throw 5-step too, and we've worked on chipping the backs, chipping the defensive ends, and we've worked on different protections and different things, kind of change.
You sitting there?
And bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Michelle Miller, member of the Tusculum softball team and a junior from Meridian, Idaho.
Just go ahead and play the billboard and everything. Just get it out of the way. Tusculum College is Tennessee's first college. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where students from all around the world have found a home. Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit online for more information at tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 and discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
Pioneer football.
Bridge to the 10, bridge to the 5, bridge to the end zone. Touchdown Pioneers! Picked off by Chavon Forsett at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Gregory sets off a missile. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10 to the house! Touchdown Nate Binder! Welcome to our Armed Forces Showcase. Tusculum versus Wingate. 19 seniors hoping to play their final game at Pioneer Field in a memorable moment. A win against a nationally ranked opponent. Not too long ago, Wingate came in here nationally ranked, and the Pioneers sent them packing with the loss. A loss today for Wingate means it's their first loss of the year. The newly crowned conference champs and the Tusculum Pioneers for the 22nd time. Shot Carter. He's just a freshman. To the 20, to the 10. Forget it. Touchdown Corey Russell. Yes, sir. Touchdown Pioneer. Touchdown Brian Town. Back to pass, and he's just going to air it out for Carter. Caught it. 15. 5. Out. Touchdown Pioneers.
We are TC. It's game time, Pioneer Nation. This is Brian Alexander. Don't miss a second of the game right here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
It's game time for the Pioneers. This is Bo Cordell. Now, let's get back to the field with the call. Here's Brian Stick.
Today, the Tusculum Pioneers and the Wingate Bulldogs get set to renew this rivalry the 22nd time these teams will play. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into Armed Forces Day and Senior Day for our regular season finale. Brian Staten to be joined by Joe Bird. Let's take a look at our player profile today. This is a Wingate Bulldog team that comes in here unbeaten. Will not have James Whitaker, their starting quarterback, but their backup quarterback did quite well last week in their victory against Limestone, where he went 12 of 13 through 4 touchdown passes in their 44-20 victory. So a very solid outing. And again, it's their backup quarterback, if you will, Dylan Williams. But their running game is where they make their hay. Lawrence Pittman, the senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the conference leader in rushing and yards per game, 13th and 11th nationally in total yards and yards per game. Second in the conference in rushing touchdowns with 11. That's 27th in the nation. He has over 3,000 career rushing yards, over 1,200 as a sophomore. He will do that today if he gains 50 yards on the ground. Preseason all-conference, might as well make him an All-American. And then his complement is Blake Hayes. He ran for 2 touchdowns last week. He's run for over 150 yards twice this year. Last year, when Pittman went out, Hayes stepped up and became the Harlan Hill candidate outside of Lawrence Pittman, and he still finished second in the conference in scoring, just behind Lawrence Pittman, who did not finish the final 5 games of the year. Defensively, they're led by Robbie Wallace, the redshirt sophomore out of Covington, Georgia, Newton High School. He has had double digits in tackles 7 of 9 games this year, 15 coming against Pembroke. Can the Pioneers find a way? There's 17 seniors out there on the playing surface today, and can they go out on a positive note and have a non-losing season, get to 500 at 5-5, but more importantly, be in the top 4 in the South Atlantic Conference for the 2nd consecutive year. Joe, we'll get a chance to find out real soon right here as the Pioneers are going to receive the kick to start this football game. And I think for this offense, they need something definitely positive to happen, because in 2 weeks against Catawba and Carson Newman, things weren't good for the offense.
No, I mean, what better way to start the game off if you get a good offensive series, hopefully put some points on the board, and start the game from in front instead of chasing.
Again, Brian Staten and Joe Bird on Armed Forces Day. To our veterans around the world, thank you for your service. The foot to leather for Wingate, and we are game on here from Pioneer Field. Jay Boyd, one of the best in the conference in kickoff returns, will take it across the 20 and up to the 22-yard line, where he'll be stopped by DJ Crosby, a redshirt freshman out of Welford, South Carolina. So we are underway here today from Pioneer Field. Glad you could be with us for our regular season finale. Joe and I had to be getting some directions comes to the field again today because we had that week off, which was kind of an oddity here in the end of the football season.
Yeah, as long as we've been doing this, I don't recall ever having a bye week this late in the year. Normally, whenever you do, hey, it's Carson Newman and we're not playing next week. Season must be over, but here we are back again today to wrap this up on a beautiful East Tennessee afternoon.
It is beautiful here today. The temperature has warmed up, but it's going to be quite chilly here tonight when the basketball team plays, the women's team playing at 8 o'clock this evening. Alex Ogle will start with Tommy Brown as the running back, and Wallace will give him a chase, but Brown does a nice job breaking the tackle initially at the line of scrimmage by Robbie Wallace. He'll take it up to the 25-yard line, gain 3, where it'll bring up 2nd down and 7. And Joe, we thought we may see Maxwell Joseph today, but apparently he was a game-time decision, and I'm still looking down there to see if I can find him. But with Tommy Brown out there, that tells me that neither Jordan Shippey or Ogle, or I should say Joseph, were healthy enough to at least start.
To take a look at it, they are on your 2 deep, but not on the field, so the Pioneers had to go with new blood back there.
Tommy Brown, I do see Maxwell Joseph, so at least he is dressed. This will be Brown's stretch play, has it at the 30. 40, Brown breaks a tackle at the 50 and takes it down to the 40-yard line of Wingate, where he is finally hauled down by Matthew Ellis White, a redshirt freshman defensive back from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Big run for Tommy Brown, his longest of his career.
Yeah, take a look at coming into today's game. Tommy Brown, 24 carries, averages 3 yards per carry. Definitely blew his season average out of the water with that big run to get us started.
So the Pioneers have a 1st down and 10 from the Wingate 37-yard line. That's a great job by the offensive line. That left side of the line, Broadwater and LaFleur just really opening that up for Tommy Brown. Ogle on a little pitch. This is going to be Altizer, and Altizer is going to be brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. Joe, you've already talked about the ability of Wingate to make plays behind the line.
That was Robbie Wallace. He's one of these top guys here. Wingate's leading tackler. He had 5 tackles for loss. Now make it 6.
So if this is a Pioneer football team, Altizer was a guy who was actually recruited by Wingate and Coach Joe Reich because he was right there in town. I talked to him about it, what will this game mean to you this week? He says, it's special. I wouldn't have minded to go to Wingate, but, it was in my backyard. I wanted to go somewhere else, and he says he is thrilled that he made the commitment to Tusculum and to play his career here. So today, maybe something a little special for him out there in that Charlotte area. This pass will be complete to Evan Gates. He'll have it back to the original line of scrimmage, about the 38-yard line, so a gain of about 6 yards on the play, but it brings up 3rd down and 10 because when this Pioneer offense plays from behind the chains, not very good this year.
Right, they lost 7 yards on the Altizer play, and then now they got it back and set themselves up 3rd and 10 after the big run by Tommy Brown. We definitely don't want to see this drive stall out right here because you're not even really in field goal range. Don't think about that. Get the 1st down here and keep it moving.
34-yard run by Tommy Brown, or a 32-yard run by Tommy Brown to get things started, and that was really one of the best plays of the year. This will be Brown on a screen, complete 30. Brown again at the 20. Brown down to the 19-yard line. That moves the chains on 3rd down and 10. 1st and 10 to the 19.
Pioneers did a good job of selling it right there. Evan Altizer and the wide receivers got Wingate's defensive unit to back off looking for the deep pass. Brown came out of the backfield, drop it right over the top to him, and then let him turn on his speed and pick up the 1st down for Tusculum.
So as we go under 12 minutes to play, the Pioneers moving the ball offensively, the best they've done so in the last 2 games right now against this Bulldog team. Can they keep it going? On 1st down and 10, Ogle the pass, little slant complete to Cruel at the 10, breaks a tackle at the 7 to the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Pioneers.
Great job of Rodnell Cruel there. Alex Ogle dropped the ball perfectly into his hands. Cruel made one man miss and then was able just about to get into the end zone.
11 and a half to play here in this first quarter. Pioneers methodically moving down the field on big plays, explosion plays, things that we've needed to see out of this Pioneer team. Brown is the tailback. Will Boney is the fullback as the Pioneers will go with their beef set. Their strong set, double tight. They'll put a man in motion. That'll be Brooklander. And they'll turn around, hand it off. This will be Brown. Lowers the shoulder to the goal line, and he's just shy of the end zone as a nice stop made by Ellis White, the redshirt freshman. And again, 2nd down and goal inside the 1.
Pretty evident what that play was going to be. Pioneers brought it in, used whenever they see the fullback wing gets done its homework. You had 22 guys all within the width of the offensive tackles right there.
Yeah. They were about all 6 yards away from the ball, the max. So for the Pioneers, 2nd and goal. Same formation, same setup. Brooklander goes in motion from the right side and then stays on the right. Give it to Boney, and there's going to be a flag for a false start on the Pioneers. Boney got into the end zone, the fullback, and now we're going to move us behind the chains, back it up 5 yards on a false start against Tusculum.
Yeah, Pioneers were right at the 1. Now they're taking it back to 2nd and goal from the 6.
David Williams, our referee today, so move it back there. 2nd down and goal from just inside the 6, just shy of the 5-yard line. And unfortunate for the Pioneers that, again, these penalties, the least penalized team in the South Atlantic Conference and one of the least penalized teams in the nation. But it seems as if when they do get the penalties, they really hurt. 4 wideouts in the formation. Brown is on the left shoulder of Alex Ogle, who's out of the gun. Looking to the right, will throw out to the right to Eric Lynch, and he tried to break a tackle. He stumbles, and he'll get down to about the 3. So it's 3rd and goal from about the 3-yard line for the Pioneers.
Does it even really look like so far things are warming up kicking-wise for the Pioneers? They've got 3rd and goal. Maybe they're already thinking 2-down territory. Let's punch this thing in one way or the other and start off right.
So it will be 3rd down and goal for Tusculum as we go under 10 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. No score. This is the opening drive. Keandre Banks, Shaq Harris, Connor Johnston, and Brooklander all line up to the right, so unbalanced to the right side. Brown is lined up behind Alex Ogle. No fullback in the formation. We're going to pass it. Looking on a tight window for Johnston, and it's deflected away. Very nice job by Cameron Johnson. Knocks that ball away by the Bulldogs, and it's 4th down and goal from the 3.
And once again, now maybe they decided going to send on the kicking unit. But as you say, Wingate defensively, you got a man coming through, get a hand in, knock the ball down, and take away Pioneers' chance at a touchdown.
This is a win for Wingate, no question about it. Cannot have a false start on the goal line and back us up 5 yards. That's a tough play for Tusculum. So I have to settle for a field goal attempt. So Schillings to attempt. It would be from 20 yards. O'Grady, senior, to snap it. Cantrell, senior, to hold it. Schillings to put it up, and good. And the Pioneers get the field goal in the first points of the game on the opening drive. So something positive for Tusculum. And they do get the 3, but disappointing that they got the 3. 9:24 to play here in this opening quarter. It's Tusculum 3, 12th ranked Wingate 0. Pioneer football continues right after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Memorial Hospital.
For a 20-yard field goal from Gabe Schillings. It goes 10 plays, 75 yards, 5.5 off of the clock, and the Pioneers lead at 3-0 against Wingate, who will receive the football for the first time here in this football game. Muckelvane, along with Procopio, are back deep to return the Gabe Schillings kickoff. Schillings to kick it away. It's a far side kick, far side return. Muckelvane from the 5. Penalty flag on the play. Muckelvane nearly breaks it as he crosses the 30, is tripped up at the 35-yard line. David Johnson saves a touchdown, but there's a penalty flag all the way back, far side of the field at the 12-yard line.
Usually a case where it might be a hold or a block in the back against Wingate, but we will see.
It's a Pioneer football team that takes their first lead in the last couple of games as well against the Carson Newman Eagles. Really labored from the beginning. Against Catawba, they lose 40-13 in that contest. And Newberry, they win basically on the final play. So a block in the back will go against Wingate, and it eliminates a great return from an electric returner. McIlvain this season, what he has meant to not only their offense but their return game. 3 punt return touchdowns this year, one of 85 yards. Receiving yards has been outstanding this season, but then in the games, every game, he at least has a touch for a rush on some type of a jet sweep or something, and he has 3 games over 50 yards rushing this year for McIlvain. Reliability, played all 11 games last year, posted 898 all-purpose yards. Lawrence Pittman. Yes.
I was going to say right here, Wingate's got to go 90 yards to get into the end zone. If you can't stop them, at least make them work for it.
Williams with a little play action, looking to pass. He's under some pressure, and he's going to throw it away. Now, he's in the pocket when he threw it, didn't get it back to the line of scrimmage, threw it out of bounds, and that should be a safety.
Absolutely. I mean, by the rules of the game, that is intentional grounding no matter how you look at it. But apparently the referees didn't see it that way, and Wingate's getting new life on second down.
That's unfortunate. We've had missed targeting opportunities. The Pioneer defense says that should be 2 points. It should be 2 points. He was in the pocket. He didn't get outside the tackle box. He threw the ball to nobody. There was nobody in the area, and it didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, let's stop. Oh, you got your mic on. Yeah, they're going to throw the flag. They are going to throw it. There was nobody in the area after a long discussion. I mean, it's obvious, right?
It was obvious to us, but I have never seen this at this level. There's no replay.
That's what.
The ball did not get beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, intentional grounding is committed in the end zone. By rule, safety.
Very good call.
Absolutely the right call. But if you're Wingate right here saying, hey, wait a minute, how all of a sudden did you decide this without seeing any kind of replay?
They discussed it. They did a nice job. The ball hit at the 8-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 10. It's the right call. He didn't. They said he got outside of the tackle box. He didn't. He basically just dropped straight back. I believe it was Kyle Bailey who provided the pressure on that particular play for the Pioneers, and it results in the safety. So the Pioneers get 2 points out of it. A bizarre ruling because the officials were discussing it, and Wingate was trying to snap the football.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as we've seen this, I've never seen the referee blow the whistle and tell a team to stop, because we're going to think about this some more.
So our game station engineer, the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humbert, don't worry about that one because that one was kind of all messed up. We don't really honestly know. But what we can say is that the pressure that was applied by what we believe was Bailey, it was either him or J.Q. Thompson. Either one, and it happened so fast. They're wearing the black uniforms today. We can see the numbers nicely. That was good, but they were obscured from us. So they'll punt it away, Wingate, and we'll restart. The Pioneers will have the ball. It's fielded by Boyd at the 18. Boyd trips over his own returner, 30, 35, 40, and he'll make it all the way up to the 45-yard line, where he'll be brought down by Cardell Rawlings, a defensive end out of Smithfield, North Carolina. Wingate, too, does the very similar things that the vogue thing today in college football is an offensive guy has a number and a defensive guy has the same number. And so it's going to be difficult to find some of those numbers. But right now, all sorts of momentum with the Pioneers.
I mean, honestly, the only justification that I could possibly think for that is just dressing guys so you can get them in for tuition checks.
True. 9 minutes, 3 seconds to play. Tusculum, who has 140 players on their roster, on the football team, per se, still don't have the doubled numbers this year. You're given a number.
You earn a number.
9:03 on the clock. Alex Ogle and the offense back out for the Pioneers. Back to pass, looking deep. He's got a man, Chavis Williams at the 30. Williams at the 20, and he's down at the 10-yard line. Touchdown-saving tackle is made by Joe Kelly out of Columbia, South Carolina, and Alex Ogle throws deep down the left sideline to Chavis Williams.
I do want to point this out, and hopefully we won't have it there, but just another moment. Look at the scoreboard. How often do you see a 5-0 score at a football game? It looks like we're playing soccer or lacrosse here.
Yeah, not very often. 5-0 Tusculum, and now we're back inside the red zone. At the 10, have a first down and goal. Tommy Brown lights up in the backfield. 2 wideouts in the formation. Johnston, the H-back to the right. for the Pioneers. Ogle with the handoff. This will be Tommy Brown. Breaks a couple of tackles and a penalty flag thrown in the backfield of the Pioneers, it would appear. Chavis Williams' catch of 45 yards for the Pioneers. For Chavis Williams this season, that's 2 yards better than his long reception of the year, only his 7th catch of the year, but becoming the deep threat guy of 45 yards prior. Now a holding penalty going against the Tusculum Pioneers. It'll go on the center, Benson Napier. So back us up to the 20-yard line, and it's 1st and goal from there.
Well, we've seen the Pioneers already. This is the second time they've had the ball 1st and goal, but backed out what would conceivably be a 1st down, but unfortunately they've got to get this 20 yards to get into the end zone.
One of the best red zone defensive teams, the Wingate Bulldogs, in the conference. They held Tusculum out of the end zone moments ago. Can they do it again? Tommy Brown breaks a tackle at the 20, takes it inside the 15, and he'll be downed at about the 4-yard line. Zach Singleton out of Germantown, North Carolina, comes up with that stop. And Zach was named All-Conference last year following a great season, which he had 63 tackles, and his season best game was 6 tackles, 6 assists, and a quarterback hurry against Mars Hill.
You know, reasonable run there by Tommy Brown on what was first and goal from the 20. Got the Pioneers inside the 15. So we'll see what they dial up on this play.
So from the 14-yard line, 2 wideouts near side, including Evan Gates, along with Keandre Banks. Cruel is lined up to the far side. They'll run a play-action bootleg. Looking, wide open in the end zone as Johnston caught it. Touchdown Pioneers! Touchdown Connor Johnston from Alex Ogle, and the Pioneers extend the lead.
That's been my favorite play from Alex Ogle, the Pioneers, all year long. He does such a wonderful job selling that play-action bootleg and finding a receiver in the end zone. So great job by the Pioneers to start the day here.
Connor Johnston with the touchdown for the Pioneers. Johnston, of course, caught the 2-point conversion in the win against the Newberry Wolves, his first receiving touchdown of the year, and he's been open a lot this season as Connor Johnston. And right now, Brian Ferguson is calling a beautiful game. And the Pioneers line up to go for 2, but they're going to burn a timeout here. Probably had the wrong formation, had some guys out there they didn't like. Founded in 1991, the Pioneer Club helps our students succeed athletically and academically as its members provide athletic scholarships as well as support for programs and facilities. The Pioneer Club offers several donation levels to meet your budget. More importantly, we hope you'll join the Pioneer Club to help us support our student athletes by giving them the best possible resources to excel on and off the playing surface. We are gradually approaching our halfway point of our goal. We need some more help from you. If you'd like to receive a brochure or more information, contact Blake Cantrell, area code 423-636-7331.
I'm a member of the Pioneer Club, and you should be too.
It's a Pioneer football team that has opened up. Brian Ferguson this week, the offensive coordinator, says we are going to simplify some things for Ogle because he has taken such a hit. We're not going to make him do progressions and reads and those types of things. I've got to call a great game. In other words, he's got to call who's going to be open and tell him where to throw it. And I think that will open up this offense where he won't have to do that more. He's hoping that if he calls a great start, that will open it up for Alex, and then he can make his reads late.
You know, we've said all along, you don't need a 1,000-page playbook.
Yeah.
Just be really good at the 12 to 15 plays you have to where the other team can't stop them.
So the Pioneers will go for 2 out of the timeout. Ogle looking. Now will throw it, and it's going to be incomplete. The 2-point will fail, and the Pioneers will still lead by a baseball score. We'll go to a break. 7:36 to play here in this opening quarter. It's now Tusculum 11 and Wingate 0. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network. Tusculum College is Tennessee's first college. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where students from all around the world have found a home. Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit online for more information at tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 and discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. And we welcome you back in. Connor Johnston, a 14-yard pass from Alex Ogle, 2-point failed. 3 plays, 55 yards, a minute 27 off the clock after the safety. Tusculum has run 12 plays to Wingate's official 0 because of the penalty in the end zone on the intentional grounding, which resulted into the safety, and now they're behind 11-0. Only thing that could make this start better would be to go ahead and get a 3-and-out here defensively, but Schillings is going to kick this ball out of bounds. Wanted to kick it away from Muckelveen and kick it to the side of Adam Riley the second, but he kicked it out of bounds, and so Wingate will have great starting field position here as the kickoff will go out of play.
Yeah, not exactly sure what Pioneers were trying to accomplish there other than kick it away from the top return man for Wingate.
Yeah.
But you got to do a lot better job than that. You can't just kick it straight out of bounds to 30-yard lines.
I don't know if he's trying to hit an up back to get the ball back again. That's right. You know, the best defense is a good offense.
The team
That's what they say. Yeah. We're on the field all the time. J.Q. Alston Thompson was the one who was credited with that pressure in the end zone for the safety against the backup quarterback Dylan Williams, at 5'11 junior, and again he went 12 of 13, hit his first 11 passes last week against Limestone, and this is just a straight handoff. This will be Pittman, and Pittman maybe a yard from the 35 up to the 36-yard line, and a nice job from the right side of that defensive line, which has to be the key today for this Pioneer football team, and that's going to be Devin Woodson.
I think the Pioneers just have to focus. Of course, they were going to focus on Pittman anyway, but especially with this backup quarterback, Dylan Williams, taking the snaps, just focus on what he's going to do, turn around and hand it off.
So Wingate with full protect in running mode. This will be Pittman again. He's at the line of scrimmage. Quahim Glasgow is one of the first to be there to hit him and knock him backwards, and he's finished off by Ivan Hogans. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7 for the Bulldogs.
What a wonderful scenario it would be for the Pioneers if they can get a big stop on this down and force Wingate to punt this ball away and get it back.
Bulldogs, 44% of the time they convert on 3rd downs. That's 3rd in the conference, 32nd in the country. But typically when they have 3rd down, it's more like 3rd down and 3. Here it's 3rd down and 7. They'll bring a guy in motion. There's 4 wideouts in the formation for the Bulldogs, and Williams out of the gun, looking, under pressure. He's going to get free. 40, 45, 50, and slides to a stop at the Pioneer 44-yard line. The Pioneers brought the house. He stepped up, broke an arm tackle, and gets a 1st down.
Yeah, that's just a bad break and a breakdown by the Pioneer defense, because it's not like Williams is any kind of scrambler, not doing what he's not a running guy, but he saw that the opportunity was open to pick up the 1st down for the Bulldogs and showed for a reason why he's the backup, but why he's in the game.
Yeah, he started last week, had a great game against Limestone. This will be a quick hitting pass. It will be complete as Muckelveen goes up high to bring it down inside the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. Gain of 7, 2nd down and 3 coming up. Martez Tompkins helping out on the stop.
Well, now the Pioneers they need to settle down, forget giving up that 1st down that they shouldn't have, and try to get Wingate off the field. It's 2nd and short. Watch Wingate try to look downfield.
11-0 Tusculum. 5:40 to play first quarter. They have a field goal, a safety, and a touchdown with a missed 2-point conversion. Pittman running, trying to spread it out, and the Pioneers do just that. They will wrap him up at the 40-yard line. He's still on his feet, and he fights inside the 40, back to about the 39-yard line. They had him all the way back at the 42, but great offensive line play, giving him just a loss of a yard instead of a loss of 4.
That's just why you have an 1,100-yard rusher coming into today's game. Normally, as I was saying, whenever you had 2nd down and that opportunity, you might have looked downfield, but whenever you've got somebody like Lawrence Pittman in your backfield, just give it to him.
So 3rd down, 5 from the 39. Wingate needs the 34 for a 1st. They ran for a 1st on 3rd down last time. This pass is wide open at the 35, down to the 30-yard line. Making the catch, Adam Riley, the second out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. What the Bulldogs do offensively in their pass game is they spread the wealth. They have 5, 6 guys with double digits in reception, starting with Jake Jensen's 13. Jay Hood has 20.
Whenever you've got this type of offense where you can spread the field or run it, that's why you're ranked number 1 in the region.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. Williams out of the gun to pass once again. Across the middle, he threw it too high for Jensen. There is a penalty flag in the backfield in the area that would be either a roughing the passer or a hold, as the Pioneers were starting to apply some pressure.
Wasn't really watching by the time the ball was released.
So a good pressure by Glasgow and J.Q. Thompson, and they'll be replaced right now with Ahmad Gandy, who will go in. I saw him check into the football game for the Pioneers. Also checking in is going to be Kyle Bailey, senior for Tusculum, and Devin Woodson out there with Josh Forrest. So a hold against Wingate backs him up to the 40.
It's going to be we changed the down marker, but was that still first down? Now we go. It's going to be 1st and 20 because I was confused. I was like, it should be replay first down, but they had changed it on us.
11-0 Tusculum. Wingate with basically their first offensive series for the most part. Will hand it off to Pittman right into the middle. Woodson will stand him up and then gets help from about 7 of his closest friends wearing the black uniforms. And it will be a gain down to the 37. Can't believe he got that far. And it'll bring up 2nd down and about 17.
And it's been a long series for the Bulldogs because they are getting big plays, but it seems like they're coming on 3rd down because they took over with about 7.5 minutes on the clock, and now we're down under 4.
So it brings up that 2nd down. Joe's right. We go under 4 minutes to play here in this first quarter. They will go empty in the backfield. Pittman will line up as a wideout to the far side. 5 wideouts in the formation. Tusculum showing blitz. Lakeith Brown backs out of that, and he'll take the slot receiver. Looking. Williams steps up, and he's going to be hit and dropped at the 35-yard line. Josh Forrest applying the pressure and was finished off by a host of Pioneers. It'll bring up 3rd down and 15 for Wingate.
And now here they gave it up on 3rd down earlier. Now you've got the Bulldogs looking at 3rd and 15. Make the stop. This may be 2-down territory for Wingate, but do what you can to not let them get another 1st down.
Bulldogs facing 3rd down and long. They have converted 3rd down and long on this series already. Not once, but twice. 3rd down and 10, and then 3rd down and about 6. Williams out of the gun, going to hand it off. This will be Pittman running to the near sideline, gets a stiff arm, and then is taken out of bounds by Lakeith Brown and D. Alford. So it's 4th down, but you're in that gray area. You're at the 28-yard line, and you face 4th down and 8 for Wingate.
And leaving the offense on the field, it looks like Coach Joe Wright saying, hey, we've got one of the top offenses around. Let's see if we can get a new set of downs here.
A lot of that leaving them out there. McCollum doesn't have the distance with the leg. So it's 4th down and 8. The offense is out there trying to draw the Pioneers off initially. Now look over at the offensive coaches on the sidelines. Does Williams. Play clock at 5 seconds. Takes the snap. Looking. Will throw across the middle. It's picked off. Intercepted by Lakeith Brown at the 20. 25, 30. On his feet at the 35. Stays on his feet as he takes it down at about the 36-yard line. Penalty flag is down at the end of the play as well. Maybe it will be a face mask. Either way, the interception, and the Pioneers turn away the Bulldogs.
Not something that we've really seen a whole lot of. Lakeith Brown, that's his 2nd interception of the year, and it came at a really good time.
2nd career interception, and Lakeith Brown came into this football game needing 2 tackles to be the 3rd best tackler in Pioneer history as far as numbers would be concerned. 328 would surpass him and move him into 3rd place in that category. And I think it will be a face mask because it looked like Brown was trying to break a tackle. I didn't see anybody with the block in the back. Oh, I guess there was. Sorry. So I misspoke. So the Tusculum Pioneers turn him away. Lakeith Brown will pass Buck Starnes for 3rd all-time in school history in tackles for a career. He'd have to have a monster game to move into 2nd past Jacques Sessions. He could do it. His career game comes against these Wingate Bulldogs where he had 14 tackles his freshman year, probably the game that named him the conference's defensive freshman of the year. But his 2nd career interception, his first came against Newberry. He has one here against Wingate. So from the 23-yard line, the Pioneer offense will take over, leading the game 11-0. 2:18 left in the first quarter. Handoff, Tommy Brown breaking it to the outside, and he'll be turned back in. He'll move it up across the 24 to the 25-yard line as he'll be taken down by Jabari Foster, a sophomore out of Shelby, North Carolina.
Well, Foster, I'm not exactly sure. He come up out of there chirping. I did think Pioneers got more yardage than what they were giving credit for. But either way,
he fell across the 25.
Yeah.
Interesting spot. Gain of 2, they say. 2nd down and 8 at the 25. Alex Ogle will drop back into the gun. On his right shoulder is Tommy Brown. 4 wideouts in the formation for Tusculum. Wingate just rushing 4, dropping everybody back into coverage. Ogle steps up, fires across the middle, too high, intended for Eric Lynch. It's incomplete, and it's 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Pioneers, something Tusculum has done today, and that's convert on 3rd downs.
Well, Ogle doing a good job there. He was getting under pressure from the backside. He stepped over to his left and fired the shot to Lynch. Unfortunately, just a little bit high and a little bit too much weight behind it for Eric to pull in.
Ogle 6 of 8, 104 yards here in this first half. 2 weeks ago against Carson Newman was just a game to forget. Had 4 interceptions thrown all year, through 3, including a pick 6 in the game against Carson Newman. Love to forget that one. So it will be Ogle who will work out of the gun on 3rd down and 8. Brown on his right shoulder. The snap, looking, far side. It's going to be caught. Did he get a foot down? Yes, he did. What a catch by Rodnell Cruel at the 35-yard line. And that will be enough for a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Officials are talking about it, still talking about it. What are you doing?
Now they've come in and decided that, no, he did not get a foot down. Obviously, we can't see right here because it's on the near sideline.
Oh, they've ruled it, yeah.
And our view obstructed of the out-of-bound lines by the players.
2 officials talked about it. They got together. They looked for the foot mark on the field. It's soft enough down there at Pioneer Field, so it's 4th down and 8. Ooh, we got a personal foul that's going to give Tusculum a 1st down anyway.
Okay, then.
It was hands to the face. Looking at the official from the backside came in right away, but they're saying hands to the face. And I was looking for it, and I didn't see it in the backfield, but we'll go with it. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers at the 40. Alex Ogle will come under center. Tusculum leads 11-0. 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Tommy Brown, handoff. He's ripped down right at the line of scrimmage for a loss on the play. One of the first there is the guy that I've highlighted, Entrell Mack. Mack is a senior, a 5th-year senior out of Irmo, South Carolina. Didn't see any action last year. Redshirted in 2015. In 2014, just had a brilliant season, statistical leader in solo tackles, but hasn't played and seen action in the last 2 years, and now is back for his last year of eligibility.
And coming into today's game, he had 6 tackles for a loss of 16 yards and also a sack, and now make him 7 tackles for loss.
Tusculum will go under center with Ogle. 2 backs in the backfield, including Boney. Ogle looking to go deep for Altizer. Passes out there. It's incomplete. Over the shoulder attempt by Altizer at about the 19-yard line. He just couldn't haul it in. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 12. And Brian Ferguson has said, look for us to take shots early and look for us to take shots often.
Pretty good pass by Ogle. It wasn't the greatest place just because of the trajectory of the ball. Altizer trying to get under it, but it just had to stretch a little bit too far.
So with 37 seconds to play in the quarter, Tusculum, who leads 11-0 on this series, have it because of the Williams interception thrown to Lakeith Brown. Now the Pioneers face 3rd down and 12. Converted on 3rd down last time because of a penalty. Here, play action. Little screen complete to Brown, but a really nice job by Zach Singleton. He read the play the entire way. If he doesn't make the play, Brown is still running. As it is, it's 4th down and 10 at the 40.
Pioneers probably dodged a bullet right there by offensive line movement. Either way, Wingate's getting ready to get the football back.
So a punting situation for Cantrell, and Hunter has just been a model of consistency for the Pioneers. He is 2nd in the conference in punting average at 41.5 yards per punt, 13th in the country, and a mainstay. School records in punt attempts, punting yards, and his punting average is 4th best in school history at 39.7. And before we can get the play away, that will be the end of the quarter. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, it's been all Tusculum. It's the Pioneers 11 and the 12th-ranked Wingate Bulldogs 0. Pioneer football will continue after this from Pioneer Field, Armed Forces Day and Senior Day here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
Member FDIC. Banking made easy.
This is South Atlantic Conference football. Tusculum versus Wingate with the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten and Joe Bird.
Cantrell off the side of his foot, not a good punt, but McElvain, who has 3 punt returns for touchdowns this year, boy, this is going to work out. Maybe his worst punt of the year, and it's going to roll inside the 10 and be touched up at the 9-yard line by Martez Tompkins, so it worked out.
Yeah, that just shows you how good of a punter that Hunter Cantrell is whenever he gets off his ugliest punt of the year and he still pins the other team inside the 10.
So the Bulldogs will start deep in their own territory once again. They have started inside the 10 a couple of times. One resulted into a safety, which is where we are and why we have the odd score. Tusculum leading it 11-0. They have a field goal after they were turned away from the 1. They made the field goal. The next play, the next snap was a sack in the end zone for the safety on the intentional grounding penalty, which did not basically wasn't even a play. They nullified the play, and the Pioneers on that then ensuing free kick drove down 3 plays for the score to Connor Johnston, failed on the 2-point conversion, which is why we have the odd score 11-0. Blake Hayes is in as running back. He'll gain about a yard or 2 up to the 11-yard line where it's 2nd down and 8.
But still, it took at least 3 or 4 Pioneers to get him on the ground.
Hayes will take it up to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. These are big bruising backs. That's Matt Simon and Josh Forrest and Ivan Hogans for the stop and another gain of 4. Here it's 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs.
Talk about the size. Blake Hayes, 6'1", 215 pounds. Pittman, 6', 225.
So the 52-yard punt by Hunter Cantrell, which was in the air for about 25 of those yards, makes this a 1st and 10 inside the 10 at the 9. Howe facing 3rd down and 4 at the 15-yard line. Williams, the backup quarterback, mind you. Whitaker, who is the starting quarterback. A timeout here by Wingate. The play clock was running down. And what was odd about the injury to Whitaker is he was just, I'm not exactly sure which game they said it was. I believe it was after the Catawba game. He was in the dorm or the apartment or wherever he was, and somebody jokingly came in and opened the door. He's standing right behind the door, and somebody burst in, and the door hit him in the head. So he plays in the, I believe it was the Catawba game. At Catawba, of course, they hit the game-winning field goal, 27-24, and on Sunday, he said he was complaining of, he couldn't remember a lot of the plays in the game and some things like that. He was having that issue. So they diagnosed him he had a concussion, but nobody knew that the door had hit him outside of his teammates. So he played a great game there. So he's kind of been in and out because he's had these recurring headaches dealing with concussion-like syndromes. Or symptoms, sorry. And so last week, he didn't get the start. He didn't get to play. But Williams came in and did a fine 12 of 13, 149 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Pretty good day.
Stranger things have happened. You and I know one former college quarterback who's ended a season when his teammates threw him into a lake and broke his ankle on his birthday.
That would be one. The all-time winningest coach here in school history, Frankie DeBus.
Yes, it would.
3rd down and 4 from the 15-yard line for the Bulldogs out of their timeout. Williams to pass. He's under pressure. He's going to step up. Room to run for the 1st down. He took a hit across the 20 as he takes it up to the 23 to the 24-yard line, but he took a shot as he got there, and it'll move the chains. Williams has run for 2 first downs in the game, and they have both come on 3rd down.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. That's really about the 3rd time we've seen him flush from the pocket and pick up yards, 2 of them for 1st downs. So hopefully the Pioneers are learning for this, and on the next opportunity, somebody stays at home and keeps an eye on the quarterback.
What it does mean, too, is that Jerry Odom's defense is taking away Williams' first read. He doesn't do the progressions as well, so they have taken away the first read. But, yes, they have to shadow the quarterback a little better. Hayes in a running play, stretch play to the right. He takes a hit, bounces off that, crosses the 25, and he'll take it to the 26. He'll gain 2. We're to bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Ahmad Gandy was there on the stop.
And that's why these Wingate running backs are so good. He should have been hit, right about the line of scrimmage, and he was, but he just bounced off took another couple strides and picked up a short gain for the Wingate.
Tusculum leads the game 11-0, 12.5 to play first half. Bulldogs, basically this is their second offensive series, and here we are in the second quarter. This will be Williams to pass. It'll be complete. Short route is wrapped up in a hurry by Matt Simon at the 29-yard line. The ball came out rather quickly, but they're going to say that Brian Mitchell made the catch, the fourth-year junior out of Yorktown, Virginia. It's 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, the ball came out, but it was honestly a motion. After he made the catch and was down, he kind of threw the ball over toward the referee, so it wasn't that it was jarred loose. It was the receiver turned it loose.
So 3rd down coming up here for the Wingate Bulldogs. A Bulldog team that's done well on 3rd downs. 44% of the time this year, they convert, 3rd in the South Atlantic Conference. They'll bring a man in motion in the formation. 4 wideouts. Blake Hayes is the running back. Blitz is coming by Brown. He can't get there. Williams, his pass is low. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down, and the punt team will come out for the Bulldogs.
Brian taking a look around the South Atlantic Conference. Carson Newman certainly making a name for itself to get up into the top 7 in the conference. Second quarter, 2 minutes before halftime, Carson Newman leads UNC Pembroke 35-0. At halftime, Newberry leads Mars Hill 7-0 in Newberry, South Carolina, and Lenore Ryan leads on the road 10-7 over Catawba early in the second.
All right, now that's not good for Catawba. As Carson Newman wins, Catawba loses. I bet Catawba falls out. Carson Newman moves in. So Catawba's got to win that game to stay in, and it may keep Carson Newman out. Pioneers came after the punt, but it's away. Altizer asking for a fair catch. He'll make it at the 30-yard line. It was an extremely high kick by Christopher Barozes, and Barozes does a nice job allowing no return on Altizer, who would like nothing more than to return a big one against a Wingate Bulldog team, which is his school, his college, in his neighborhood, his own backyard. He left. He chose not to go to Wingate and come here to Tusculum, but didn't get the opportunity there.
Senior day here as a Pioneer. We've heard him called White Lightning many times. He'd like to display that speed here this afternoon.
When I said Barozes, I've got this feature on my phone. It's called Bixby, and it opens up and it will dictate what I say, and it's doing that. Bixby thought I said Bixby instead of Barozes. Evan Gates on a catch on a screen, complete. He'll take it across the 35 and upended at the 37-yard line by the senior receiver and the converted linebacker from a year ago at 2nd down and about 3.
Well, their specialist Wingate definitely has an all-name team between Barozes, which is spelled far differently than it's pronounced, and you've also got Muckelveen and Procopio.
Yeah, I like the Procopio name. That's cool. Here it is, 2nd down 3 from the 37. Tusculum leading the game 11-0 on a field goal, a safety, and a touchdown, and a missed 2-point conversion. Johnston in motion. They're going to hand it off to Tommy Brown. He's gone the entire way today, and he's going to be hit behind the line. There is great defensive line surge by the Wingate Bulldogs, and they are really not allowing this running game to go off as it did early. And another one of your all-name teams, the guy that made the stop, Tavita Mafi, on the stop to make it 3rd down and 2.
Right now, they did give Brown a pickup of about a yard there. It's 3rd and 2. They need to get the first down here to keep this thing driving. Don't let Wingate get the football back in their hands any sooner than you have to.
So they go unbalanced to the right. Shaq Harris and Johnston plus Brooklander as tight ends to the right of the line, and they turn around and run this little play-action fake, and they're going to throw it deep for Keandre Banks. Banks battling, and it's going to be incomplete, and a good job throwing the flag there because Ellis White, who was hand-checking with Banks all the way down, and the hand-check you can live with. It was the tug of the jersey, which did not allow Banks to get to the football.
Yeah, Ellis White jumping up, looking at one of these typical, well, what did I do moves. I mean, there was a no-doubter whatsoever. He was pulling, he was tugging, he was shoving. There was always going to be pass interference on that play.
So it's going to be 15 yards from the spot, 3rd and 2, and the Pioneers, that's what that's why you throw it deep, because you make a catch, it's great. You could get a PI as well. Either way, the Pioneers are going to have another first down on 3rd down. And again, Tusculum 2 of 4 on 3rd downs today. Wingate is 3 of 5.
Whenever they made the play call on the penalty, there was a large boo came from Wingate's far sideline over. And taking a look, Wingate traveled very well.
Yeah, they
today.
traveled well.
The farthest conference team away geographically for us, and they're here today.
Back to pass will be Ogle. This is going to be Shippey. Screen complete, 45. Shippey 40, 35, 30, 25, and down to the 23-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. Our first appearance for Jordan Shippey of the day is a very positive result for the Pioneers.
Yeah, good play calling there by the Pioneers. Offensive line threw a couple blocks right at the point of the catch to spring him into the open, and now the Pioneers are certainly in business, moving down to the Bulldog 23.
His first catch of the game, his 4th of the year, his longest reception of the year. Prior, he had a long of 13 yards. Here, it's 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. This will be Brown running it to the right, and he's forced back in, and Zach Singleton, who has had a game already, comes up with a stop, helped out that time by Davion Washington, young sophomore out of Greenville, South Carolina. Gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9.
A slight gain for Brown and the Pioneers there. Not what they want to operate here. You're getting down close to the red zone. Don't waste these opportunities. Don't go for short yardage. See if you can't pick up some big yards on 1st down.
2nd down and 9 here for the Pioneers, leading the game 11-0. With under 9 minutes to play in this first half. Ogle, play action, rolling, looking, throwing. This one, Brooklander completing 8 at the 5, breaks a tackle at the 2, lunging for the goal line. Touchdown, Pioneers! Touchdown, Gary Brooklander, as he bowled his way into the end zone.
Good job by Brooklander there. And now I think going to have a little extra come kickoff time here, because 3 Wingate players surrounded the official over there and probably going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bulldogs.
I'm sure they believe that he did not make and break the plane of the goal line and went down. Well, we saw that with Catawba, where the tight end went down at the 5, and they gave him a touchdown. Why can't we have a touchdown? Check the call. I'm going to turn my head around and check the replay. Brooklander makes that catch at the 8, took a hit at the 5. It's very close. And he did cross the goal line.
Probably going to be on the there was a hit once he was down. Ellis White came in and speared him.
You're exactly right, Joe. I see the very late hit on Cruel, and it's not number 2, it's number 3. It's Matthew Ellis White, who came in very late on the play as Cruel recovered the fumble, and the guy just basically dived on top of him.
Yeah. And right now, Wingate's coaching staff is over there saying, hey, number 2's not on the field. Doesn't matter. 2, 3 jersey numbers look alike right there. It happened.
Brooklander gets into the end zone for the Pioneers, his 3rd touchdown of the year. That one comes from 22 yards from Alex Ogle, his 2nd passing touchdown, his 2nd tight end he has targeted in the football game for a touchdown as well. And the Pioneers lead the game 17-0. Schilling's point after is up, and the point is good. And we will go to a break. And how about this? 8:42 to play. It's Tusculum 18 and 12th-ranked Wingate 0. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network. The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, 1 team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. Team that has taken that one 70 yards to pay dirt, capped off by the 22-yard reception from Alex Ogle to Gary Brooklander. We go 5 plays, 70 yards, 2:48 off the clock, and the score comes with 8:42 to play in that 2nd quarter of action. Your Terry's Flooring scoring recap. Tusculum leading the game 18-0 now. They have converted on 3rd downs today. They have been good. That says 1 of 3, but they have converted 2 third downs via penalty, which is not in that stat. Schillings to kick off from the 50-yard line, and he'll kick it out of the back of the end zone and not allow Muckelvain to have an opportunity. And the Bulldogs will start 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
You know, I'd like to point out, although Wingate is 6-0 in the conference, and the outcome of today's game has no bearing on the South Atlantic Conference Championship, because even if they end up 6-1, they're still the outright champions. Wingate's got a lot to play for. They're playing for number 1 in the region. They lose this game today, they're falling out of that, and instead of having a bye week going into the playoffs, they're playing next week. So Wingate's not coming in here just saying, well, we'll put in our scrubs to get ready for the playoffs. They're playing for their playoff hopes of a first-round bye.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not like they're not coming in here wanting to win. They do want to win. Right now they're trailing. It's 18-0. Pittman is back in at running back. They'll run a quick hitter. It'll be complete, breaking a couple of tackles on a nice catch by J.T. Stokes, the junior from Juliet, Georgia. He'll take it across the 35 up to the 37. Tusculum did a bad job tackling 3 weeks ago against Catawba. They weren't much better last week against Carson Newman, really, but that was a tough game. And right there, they missed a couple of tackles.
Well, even worse, they missed an interception. Someone came through, was trying to catch the replay up here, was a hand away from just pulling that ball right out of the air with nothing but daylight between them and the goal line.
8:15 on the clock. Jensen, the Cosida academic guy, second team last year, likely a first teamer this year, lines up to the right. Play action for Williams. He's sacked back at the 31-yard line by D. Alford, and the Pioneers get a big stop at 2nd down and 17.
Big play for the Pioneers. D. Alford reading that attempted bootleg by Williams. Didn't sell it. Alford come through, sacked him for a big loss.
Alford, who was injured in the Newberry game, missed out on some time. That'll be his first sack of the year, his first hit behind the line of scrimmage for a sack. It'll be his third hit, I should say, behind the line of scrimmage this season, coming on that corner blitz that time, and it did not fool him whatsoever. Handed off, this will be Pittman. Pittman is hit by Hogans and then driven backwards at the 30-yard line by David Johnson. And this Pioneer football team, or pardon me, that's Malik Goodman. And this Pioneer football defense is just playing phenomenally here in this first half.
Back them up some more, looking at 3rd and what about 3rd and 17 for Wingate now.
So 7:10 to play here in this first half. And that's a great play by the redshirt freshman Ivan Hogans, who has had a superb year. And Malik Goodman, the team's second leading tackler, coming from his safety position to finish off Pittman. Jerry Odom's defense right now is just playing well, but Jerry Odom is calling up the right defense at the right time. But 3rd downs has been a bit of a struggle. 3 of 5 today for Wingate on 3rd downs. This one is incomplete on a pass attempt by Williams. And the Pioneers turn away the Bulldogs once again. Jay Boyd close to that one, but Williams was under immense pressure in the pocket.
Well, probably what didn't help Wingate's chances is Malik Bledsoe was looking over at one of the other wide receivers. The ball was snapped, and the play had already started whenever he realized what was going on and had to run down the field. It might have been one of the intended wide receivers looking where the ball was supposed to be.
4th down, 17. Simon has 6 tackles. Hogan's now with 4. Lakeith Brown has moved past Buck Starnes for 3rd all-time in school history and most tackles for a career. He has 3 today. That gives him 329 for his career. So Barozas to punt it away. They come after him again. Very high, wobbly spiral. Altizer asks for a fair catch at the 31-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10, interestingly enough. Last time they started at about the 30, they scored a touchdown.
Who's still first on the list? Is it Brett Lista? Is that right?
For tackles?
Yeah.
No, it's Brian Alexander.
Alexander.
That's why he's still on the open.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
we have the two top. We have Brian Alexander and Bo Cordell, the 2 statistical leaders in school history in their respective sports. 366 tackles, I believe it is, for Brian. Jacques Sessions, 2nd all-time, 340. So if Lakeith Brown wants to get number 2, he's going to have to start picking it up. Tommy Brown stays in there at running back. He has the carry at the 35, daylight at the 40. He's forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and saving a touchdown is Jalen McNish, young redshirt freshman defensive back out of Raleigh, North Carolina. But it's 1st and 10, and Tommy Brown has run it hard here in the first half.
He is. He's come here to play today. One of these guys, obviously, Coach Odom had seen in high school coming out of Jacksonville, Florida, brought him in to be a Pioneer, and it's certainly paying dividends this afternoon.
And he started the year number 4 on the depth chart, folks. And that didn't really change much. Pratt is done for the year. Joseph has been banged up, is not obviously going to play today. Shippey has been in there for 1 play on her screen. Pass across the middle to Gates, and he just can't hang on to it. He dropped it. Good look that time by Ogle. But there again, Zach Singleton might have just gotten a finger on that, deflecting it away from Gates. It's incomplete and 2nd down and 10.
And Gates is kind of awkward trying to catch the football because he was leaped up in the air and trying to turn his body back mid-flight. So it was always going to be difficult. Still a good job nearly making the play.
6 minutes to play in the first half. Tusculum leads 18-0. Ogle is 10 of 14 for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's having his best game since Newberry. It's been a month. From the 45-yard line, Ogle is under center. Back to pass, looks, screen, complete to Altizer, spins away from a tackle at the Bulldog 45, and he'll skip out of bounds at the 40-yard line. It'll be another 1st and 10 on a gain of 15 for the guy they called White Lightning coming into Pioneer football, the football program. It's a gain of 15 and a 1st and 10.
Good job by Altizer there, making the catch and then making the play to get the yardage after the catch, drive the Pioneers into Wingate territory.
And saving a touchdown, basically, Joe Kelly or Washington, either one. A bunch of guys with multiple numbers and jerseys. 2 guys that wear 21 that are defensive guys. I understand that. 5.5 to play in the first half. 18-0 Tusculum, another 1st and 10. Handoff, this will be Tommy Brown. Brown will just kind of surge downfield as he is hit by the linebacker for the Wingate Bulldogs. That's Robbie Wallace. He'll take it down to the 36-yard line, gain 4, make it 2nd down and 6.
You know, there once was a time at home, NCAA teams, you could dress whoever you wanted to.
Right.
But if you were the traveling teams, there was restriction. I don't think it was 55 or 60 was the number that you could dress if you were the road team. But I guess now, you know, everybody gets a trophy, everybody gets a jersey, so we'll bring them in and all play.
Well, it's just tough to, you know, they should have a road team so that we know, because there's 2 21s listed defensive players. It's odd. Play action pass. Looking. Now running Ogle. 25 down to the 22-yard line. He'll run for the 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. That's a nice job by the Wingate secondary to cover up the play, but a better job by Ogle to take what he had.
There it is. That was about 7 ways busted on that play from what he had intended to do, because we started out selling the play action pass, and he had all day in the backfield, but unfortunately Wingate secondary was covering up the wide receiver, so Ogle scrambled and picked up a 1st down, so good job by him.
Tommy Brown, who's in the backfield, 10 carries, 67 yards today with a long of 38. That's his career long. Last year had a run, I believe, of 27. Ogle to pass. Across the middle has Gates, caught it at the 2, lunging for the goal line. He's down shy at the 1. 1st and goal for the Pioneers, and Alex Ogle is just having a game that we probably expected him to have all year long, but he has been quagmired in this slump over the last month, but he is coming out of it full force today.
He really is, and what a better time to do this. We know this is the last game of the season for the Pioneers, so close out your season strong. You're here at home. You've got recruits in the stands. You've got alumni in the stands. You've got fans in the stands, so get everybody excited about the offseason and headed into next year of Pioneer football.
Ogle under center. Boney is the fullback. Brown is the tailback. Brooklander in motion. It's Will Boney into the end zone. Touchdown Pioneers. Touchdown Will Boney as he scores from a yard away.
And here we go.
And a lot more after the play as well, and even more after the play as well. And if you're a Wingate Bulldog fan right now you are down big. And if you lose this game, you probably lose your 1st round bye. And if you get a guy ejected, you don't have them next week.
Yeah, not what Coach Reich and the Bulldogs want to do. Pioneers not guiltless right here, but you had some of these Wingate players going after Boney in the end zone, and then obviously the Pioneer offensive line taking up for their running back. Here's the replay.
So Boney gets into the end zone, no question. All right, he's in. And then they just keep fighting. Oh, and then a punch was thrown. Wow. So you can't have punches thrown. This could take a while. And I guess, and let's just go back and even say, if it looked like it was Tim Longmire, number 5, it looked like he may have been trying to punch the ball out.
Well, the one I was looking at was Josh Shelton, number 4, coming in, taking a good hit there.
Out of Mount Juliet, a Tennessee kid. So the officials have to talk about it. There was a little extra, and really Corey Gillum was involved with it. That was the flag that's back at the 8-yard line. And so if Gillum is ejected, that's an offensive lineman. we don't have those guys.
And now we're going to have to pull somebody else out of the woodwork here to get them up front.
And Gillum is already replacing Seth Batzel, who was lost for the year after the Newberry game. So the officials are going to go over and talk to Coach Reich. Nobody's coming over to talk to Jerry Odom. It's probably a good move.
Well, one thing we need to move is the scoreboard here. The Pioneers got into the end zone.
Yeah, they did score. So Pioneers should be credited with 24 points right now. They can't take the points off the board. These flags come after the play. But I guess you have to wait officially till they say after the play.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry Odom has said it all week. I'm a dangerous man when I have nothing to lose. He has nothing to play for. There's no tomorrow for them. And he has dialed up a great game plan against the Bulldogs defensively. And Brian Ferguson's offensive game plan today has been superb.
I mean, it absolutely has. The Pioneers are mixing plays. They're getting play from guys we've not seen a lot this year. So that's a good thing. And whenever the Pioneers are relying so much on Tommy Brown, perhaps Wingate really didn't game plan for him.
Well, and you wouldn't. He was your fourth. He's the guy fourth on the depth chart. But you probably should have expected him to play. But if you had watched the Carson Newman game and the shot by Saheem Stupart that they gave on Tommy Brown, which was a concussion hit, a targeting hit, which was not called, you wouldn't have thought he may have played today. So either way, here's a Pioneer football team that is dialing up everything right. Ogle is 12 of 16, 194 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brown, 10 carries, 67 yards. Gates, 3 catches, 35 yards. A long of 21. That set up the touchdown down to the 1. Odom is unhappy with the decision here. He just kind of brushed off the referee, and we'll get the call.
The result of the play was a touchdown. There were multiple dead ball fouls after the play. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 78 of Tusculum. That was that player's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game. Also after the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 7 for Wingate. That player was qualified for fighting for throwing the punch.
Ooh, that's it. That was the punch we saw. And that's Lewis Rogers. And Lewis Rogers coming in today, redshirt freshman out of Spartanburg, was a 2-year starter for the Spartanburg high school team. They went to the state championship game in 2014. He had 5 tackles for loss in the season opening game against Johnson C. Smith. So Rogers, if this score is to hold and Tusculum is to upset the 12th ranked team in the country, number 1 team in the region, then Wingate will likely play next week in the playoffs and will probably get a conference team if things go the way it is going. And they're not going to have Rogers, who is a big part of that defensive line.
Well, right now, the way this works is number 1 in the region gets a bye. Number 2 will play 7. If this score holds, Carson Newman's score holds, good chance Wingate could drop to number 2. Carson Newman move up to
that last
7.
spot. That's exactly right. I just think that's the way. I think that's the way it'll go. All right, so Wingate called a timeout. They had a come-together meeting over there on the sidelines. They all huddled up, took a knee, and Joe Reich was the only one speaking. So Lewis Rogers has been ejected. Malik Brewer received an unsportsmanlike penalty. And I thought it went against Corey Gillum, but it did not. It went against Brewer. The Pioneers will line up for the extra point, and the point after has taken an eternity. So
I think right now perhaps the referee is telling both sides, we've had enough of this, guys. We came to play football. We didn't come to have a fight. So just clean yourselves up and let's play the game.
There is no tomorrow for Tusculum, and they are playing like it. So Schillings to attempt the point. Senior O'Grady to snap it. Senior Cantrell to hold it. The freshman Schillings puts it up and good. And the Pioneers extend the lead. Blanking the Wingate Bulldogs, a team that has averaged 42 points a game in their last 3. They have 0 with 3:32 to play in the first half. Your score, it's Tusculum 25, 12th ranked Wingate 0. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
Seven plays, 68 yards. Took 3 minutes, 5 seconds off the clock for Will Boney's 1-yard touchdown run. Schilling's point makes it 25-0. Tusculum leading Wingate, and the Bulldogs need something desperate to happen for them in the offense. 3:32 to play. Schilling's going to kick it short. It'll be high, short kick, and it'll be fielded at the 24-yard line by an up back with daylight. 40. Ripped down at the 45, and he'll make it up to the 50-yard line in a big return by an up back, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs right there at midfield.
Well, let's just go ahead and put right now. Wingate cannot win this football game. Tusculum can lose it.
Yes.
The Pioneers have effectively a 4-touchdown lead at home last game of the season. 3.5 minutes to go before halftime. Don't give up 4 touchdowns at home. So right now, everything is in Tusculum's hand to get a famous victory here to close out the 2017 season.
I think they have to keep them out of the end zone here on this drive. 1st and 10 from midfield for Wingate, their best starting field position of the day. Williams, empty backfield, and they're going to take what Tusculum's given him, and that's the quarterback keeper. He'll run it across the 40, and Jay Boyd saves a touchdown, brings him down at the Pioneer 37. That was a straight quarterback-designed run from the start.
Well, yeah, I think the 2 big times that they've gotten first downs on it, it was by accident, so now Wingate is going to school and realize we've got that play, so might as well use it.
So 1st and 10 from the Pioneer 37. Jay Boyd made the stop. Jensen will line up from the left, now move to the right as the tight end for the Bulldogs. And Muckelvane will go in motion on that jet sweep fake. Give it to Blake Hayes up the middle, and Hayes takes it to the 30 and down to the 25. So the fighting infraction has spirited this Wingate Bulldog team so much. The offense has come out with a little life, and now they have it 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 25.
Updated score, Brian, 11 minutes in the third quarter. Carson Newman still leads UNC Pembroke 35-0. Newberry's up 7-0 over Mars Hill, and Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba are tied at 10.
1st and 10 from the Pioneer 26-yard line. Williams out of the gun. Hayes is the running back. Little play action fake. Looking downfield. Pass will be caught at the 10-yard line, or did he drop it? No, he did. Nice job defensively by Martez Tompkins as he knocked the ball away from Muckelvane, and it will bring up 2nd down.
Good break for the Pioneer.
Check that. The receiver, the intended target for Wingate was Dylan Williams. He thought he caught it, but the ground definitely bounced it up to him.
You know, I don't know that it's real necessary. Yes, everybody's got the bells and the whistles and the communication, but for the referee to say ruling on the field is that it was an incomplete pass. Well, if we're not going to review it, yes, we understand that, so just play the game of football.
Call targeting every once in a while. That would help. 2nd down and 10 from the 26. Pioneers show blitz. They're going to give it to Muckelvane. He'll be turned back in by Hogans. He read the play right, but nobody came to help him. And a penalty flag thrown back at about the 23. Muckelvane has it at the 17-yard line.
I'm not sure what the penalty is, but Coach Reich thinks it's against the Bulldogs because whenever you see hands on the knees by the head coach, I believe he's figuring it's going to be against his team.
Just saw a shot of the replay. No, Williams never had the ball really. He had it on his hip, and it came loose as he rolled over. And that's Ivan Hogans. Hogans read that play, the jet sweep to Muckelvane, based on the formation. Or Jerry Odom read that play, and Hogans turned Muckelvane back in. He took the block in the back, and then still got in on the play.
Right here, new life for the Pioneers. Wingate backed up 2nd and 19. Take them all the way back to the 34-yard line. Be probably under 2 minutes to go here before halftime by the time they snap the football.
They blocked Matt Simon in the back, and that's not a good call. 1:59, as Joe said, here in this first half. Tusculum leading at 25-0. Empty backfield. Williams under pressure. Blitz right up the middle by J.Q. Thompson. And he is going to be brought down by Josh Forrest at the 30. He's going to run for 4 yards. and take it to the 30-yard line, where now it will bring up third down with 1:40 to play and counting.
Right now, time and distance crucial for Wingate. They do have one timeout remaining here in the first half. I think Williams was trying to get out of bounds to save that timeout, but they didn't, and the clock is running.
So Williams, who will line up in the gun once again, trips near side, one wide out to the far side. Hayes is the running back in the backfield. Williams with the snap, looking. Good protection. Steps up in the pocket. Trying to get outside. Still running. He's still running and finally brought down at about the 24-yard line with 1:02 to play. It'll be fourth down. The Pioneers strung the play out, did a nice job to keep him in bounds. And so Williams, who had the opportunity to go out of bounds but did not.
Well, honestly, I think he crossed the line of scrimmage, backed up, and was almost getting ready to pass the ball and realized what he'd done and then had to go forward again. I've never seen a quarterback do that little backward crow hop and then take off again.
So 1:02 to play, and Wingate will call the timeout. And again, McCollum, who averages 1.2 field goals per game, first in the South Atlantic Conference. I'm not sure he'll have an opportunity to do that. Nice job by Hogans to force him in. And then he'll be wrapped up by D. Alford and brought down just inside the 25 at the 24-yard line. So it would be an attempt of 41. McCollum has the leg to hit from there. But obviously Wingate down 25-0. They have their sights set on something more than a 3-point try.
You know, if your kicker is good, the 3 points is the more high percentage right here just to get points on the board before halftime. But as you say, whenever you're looking at just 31 minutes of football left here in the regular season, 3 points is not what you need.
Williams will line up out of the gun, trips to the near side. Including in that formation is Jay Hood, the team's leading receiver by receptions this year. But again, there's 6 guys that have at least 13. He has 20. Williams looking right, now back to the middle. He's looking towards the end zone, and this one is going to be incomplete. But Cameron Gergley was defending on the play, and he got a little handsy, and it will be a first down via a penalty on a pass interference against the Pioneer, Cameron Gergley.
I mean, that's probably the right call, because before the ball was even batted down, I was watching Gergley, and he was kind of having a hand on the back, so when the receiver started falling, he sold the shove pretty well, and that was always going to be pass interference against the Pioneers.
Well, the Pioneers, who lead at 25-0, this will go against Tusculum. We know that. It'll be half the distance to the goal, and take it to the 12, where it'll be first down for Wingate. Well, it's actually holding. So it takes it to the 14, but it's an automatic first.
They still get the first down. Not quite the yardage they wanted. But I was first processing holding and not defensive holding, and that's when I was thinking, unfortunately, penalty still against the Pioneers.
So since 1991, Tusculum has had a bye week now 14 times. 13 prior, they are 8-5. Tusculum is 2-1 against Wingate when they come off a bye. Right now they lead at 25-0 off a bye week. But we're still in the first half. Williams, a little scramble play, and he'll be brought down at the 15 by Ivan Hogans, who has his 5th tackle of the football game. There are no timeouts left for Wingate. They have to hurry, get to the line.
I think at first I thought they were going to spike the ball, but maybe not. They're going to set the play up and run 4 guys.
Give it to Blake Hayes. Hayes is going to be wrapped up, and he stays on his feet, and he takes it down to about the 6-yard line, which is close to a first, but the clock will run with 29 seconds to play. It's 3rd down and 2 for the Bulldogs as the clock continues to run. So Williams turns around, and he says, let me take it. It's a quarterback keeper as he lines up under center, and he gets into the end zone. Holy cow. Touchdown Wingate. Williams, with the clock running against the Bulldogs, gets into the end zone, and the Bulldogs have some life. And, folks, they receive the second half kickoff as well.
Not exactly sure what was going on there with the Pioneer defense, because Williams should have been stopped at the 3 and gotten a new set of downs. But maybe it wouldn't have done him any good because of the time, but he just kept his legs turning and moved in for the touchdown.
Well, Hayes is the man that set it up as he just continued to carry defenders with him. And then as they went to fire drill trying to hurry things up, Williams just got behind that huge veteran offensive line and gets into the end zone from about 6 yards away. So the point after by McCollum is up, and it's good. And the Bulldogs, with 14 seconds, get on the board. We go to a break with your score. 14 seconds in the half. Tusculum 25, Wingate 7. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
And let us guide you home.
This is South Atlantic Conference football. Tusculum versus Wingate with the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten.
9 plays, 50 yards, 3:11 off the clock. Williams in from 6 yards away, giving Wingate their first score of the game. McCollum's kick is good. McCollum will put foot to leather with 14 seconds left here in this first half. And kick it deep. Jay Boyd will field it at the 6, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and he'll take it to the 40-yard line where it's 1st and 10 with 7 seconds to play in this first half, and a late flag comes in. Well, after the play, still more extracurricular, but if this is against Wingate, and it looked as if there was one last shove against the Bulldogs,
Procopio,
then you're talking about 15 more yards for Alex Ogle to heave one to the end zone. And it would be in Wingate territory if that is the case.
Put it down to what about the Wingate 44?
Yeah.
15-yard penalty.
After the return, sportsmanlike conduct, number 20, the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, all out of first down. This is the first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for number 20 of Wingate.
So Procopio gets the unsportsmanlike, and so he can't have another one. So right now, 7 seconds to play. Pioneers don't have empty backfield. They have Ogle coming under center, and they have it at the 44-yard line. Wingate receives the second half kickoff. Tusculum leading 25-7, and Ogle looks like he's just going to hand it off. Oh, they're going to run a flea flicker. Ogle, though, doesn't have any time, and he's going to be sacked. Well, good thought, good idea, but they didn't sell it enough, and that will be the end of the first half. The only negative play offensively for the Pioneers in that first half.
Absolutely. Very positive first half for the Pioneers. You're playing the number 12 team in the country, undefeated conference champions. I'll take a 25-7 lead going into the locker room.
Max protect is what the Pioneer offense said they would have to have, so as few people in the route as possible today, and it has been effective for some explosion plays in the passing game with a lot of guys protecting Alex Ogle, but that last play didn't result into anything except negative yards. However, the Pioneers will go into the locker room leading the 12th ranked team in the country. Coming up here at the half, we'll have a look at this week in Tusculum athletics and a look at your first half stats and highlights. That's all at halftime here at Pioneer Field. At the half, it's Tusculum 25 and 12th ranked Wingate 7. Pioneer football will continue here from Pioneer Field on the Pioneer Sports Network.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family. The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Tusculum College is Tennessee's first college. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where students from all around the world have found a home. Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit online for more information at tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 and discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. And we welcome you back into Pioneer Field for this week in Tusculum Athletics. As a matter of fact, let's basically take a look at the last night for Tusculum Athletics. And we'll start on the hardwood. 5 reached double figures as the Tusculum women open up the season with an impressive 89-71 win against Converse in the season opener. Lovely Locklear scored a team-high 16. Casey Johnson had 15 plus 9 rebounds, and Mia Long added 15 and 6 steals as the Pioneers out-rebounded the Valkyries 57-38, forced Converse into 31 turnovers. The 89 points were the most in a game for the Pioneers since a 91-70 win in 2012, and were the most in a season opener since they played Converse back in 2008. Off the bench, Callie Patterson had 12. Sydney Wilson had 11 in the contest as well. Tusculum went 31 of 46 from the foul line, the most free throw attempts in a Pioneer game since they went there 52 times back in 2010, and no wonder the game just took forever to play. They took on a familiar coach, at least for Tusculum. It was Dean Walsh. He walked the sidelines at Carson Newman for 10 years, and now he was at Converse, and he made the comment afterwards. He says, it's the best Pioneer basketball team that I've seen over the years, and I have been watching them over the last couple of years as well. So he believes that there is some improvement. Will there be? We'll find out later tonight right here on the Pioneer Sports Network. Tusculum will take on King, and they'll tip it off at 8 o'clock. And that is going on for the second day of the South Atlantic Conference Carolinas Challenge. Justin Jeffers will have the call, and again, that follows the Converse Mars Hill game, which is tipping off at 6 o'clock as well. Well, last night it wasn't all sunshine for the Tusculum men's basketball team, but there were some bright spots and very good moments. But Jordan Floyd paced the King University Tornado with 34 points, and King defeated Tusculum 101-94, spoiling Nick Pasqua's debut as a first-time head coach and the first time leading the Pioneers as a head coach, as he was playing his alma mater and where he had worked basically for the last 13 years. The Pioneers put 6 players in double figures, led by Ronnie Baylark, who poured in 20 points. He was 7 of 10 from the floor. First-year skipper Nick Pasqua was making his collegiate head coach debut against his alma mater, but his team just did not respond. The Tornado led wire to wire as they got up to the great start. They went 14 of 27 from three-point territory. Tusculum finished the night shooting 45%. They knocked down a dozen three-pointers as they went 12 of 33 from downtown themselves. I was impressed with the way Caleb Hodnett played. He had 13 points and a team-high 8 rebounds. You're going to love the way Brandon Mitchell plays. Donovan Donaldson is electric. Peyton Woods is going to be a great shooter. And Zach Hartle was solid, as always, for the Tusculum Pioneers. Tusculum is in action today, again in Banner Elk, North Carolina, taking on Lees McRae. They tip that game off at 6 o'clock. Again, no Pioneer Sports Network coverage for that, but you can follow live stats on the Lees McRae website. Anderson spoils senior night for volleyball as Marissa Mitter led all players with 19 kills, and Anderson swept Tusculum on Friday night. The Trojans clinch no worse than a share of the conference regular season and their first school championship in school history in the South Atlantic Conference. They earned their 20th consecutive victory with the win last night against Tusculum. Casey Bourne paced the Pioneers, who, with 7 kills, hit a team hitting percentage of .032, and that was no match for the Trojans. They hit .260. It was senior night for the Tusculum women as well. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way they wanted it to. Tournament time is up next for them. That's been a look at this week in Tusculum Athletics. We have more football to talk about when we return after this here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Popsy, I need to ask you a serious question.
All right, Harley, let's hear it.
What do you think it feels like to score a touchdown?
I'm sure that it's an incredible feeling. You would know that all the hard work and dedication had paid off, and you'd be so proud.
Is that how you feel when you build a custom tile shower or lay new flooring?
It sure is. Sometimes I have to hold myself back from doing a touchdown dance.
For a great selection and expert installer,
The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, one team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, one team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
Day, Will Boney, the one carry for a score for 1 yard. For Wingate, Dylan Williams is their leading rusher, 9 carries, 51 yards. Blake Hayes has just 28 yards, and the conference's leading rusher, Lawrence Pittman, has just 10 yards so far here at the half on just 6 carries. Passing, Alex Ogle, 12 of 16, 194, 2 scores, and he has a long of 45, has been sacked once. Dylan Williams is 4 of 8 with a pick for 31 yards, a long of 12, and he's been sacked twice. Evan Gates has 3 catches for 35 yards. Tommy Brown, 2 for 19. Chavis Williams, 1 for 45. For Wingate, 4 with just 1. J.T. Stokes, Adam Riley the second, B.J. Muckelvain, and Brian Mitchell, and the longest went to Stokes of 12 yards. Punting, Hunter Cantrell, 1 punt, a 52-yard average inside the 20. And Christian Barozes has 2 punts, a 39.5-yard average. 41 is his long on the day. Defensively, Ivan Hogan's and Matt Simon each have 6 tackles. Hogan's has 3 unassisted, 2 tackles for loss and a sack. For Hogan's, Matt Simon with 1 tackle for loss. Jay Boyd has 4, and Lakeith Brown, who becomes the school's 3rd leading tackler in school history, has 3 tackles in this game. Joe Kelly and Robbie Wallace lead the charge for Wingate. They each have 5 tackles apiece. Malik Bledsoe with 4, Matthew Ellis White with 3. Your first half stats brought to you by Creekside Market. Creekside Market with 3 convenient locations in Greenville. Stop in and pick up a Hunt's Brothers Pizza today. Creekside Market, don't pass by, stop by. More halftime when we return right after this. Your score at the break is Tusculum 25 and Wingate 7. Pioneer football continues here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, 1 team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. Early for the Pioneers on the opening series. They drove the football all the way down to the goal line, but then set back for 5 yards on a false start penalty, and the Tusculum Pioneers were turned away. They settled for a 20-yard field goal from Gabe Schillings, which he made after a 10-play, 75-yard drive that took 5.5 minutes off the clock. Pioneers would kick off, and Wingate would start deep in their own territory after a penalty and would look to throw on their first play of the game. But J.Q. Alston Thompson would apply some pressure in the backfield, and Williams would be forced to throw it away. He was in the end zone. They said he was outside of the tackle box, but he did not throw the ball past the line of scrimmage, which is a penalty with no one there. So it resulted into the safety, and the Pioneers jumped out to the 5-0 lead. On the ensuing free kick, the Pioneers would hit a long 45-yard pass to Chavis Williams, and that would set up Connor Johnston from Alex Ogle. Play action bootleg, looking, wide open in the end zone as Johnston caught it. Touchdown Pioneers! Touchdown Connor Johnston from Alex Ogle. Alex Ogle's 2-point conversion would fail. It would be a 3-play, 55-yard drive, 1:27 off the clock, and all of a sudden the Pioneers were up 11-0, and that was the end of the first quarter. Pioneers would go to the second quarter and take advantage of good defense. They would set up at the 30-yard line after a punt, and they would go on third down, get a first down via penalty, and then find Evan Gates for a long pass across the middle, and then it would be Alex Ogle to Gary Brooklander. Rolling, looking, throwing. This one, Brooklander completing 8 at the 5, breaks a tackle at the 2, lunging for the goal line. Touchdown Pioneers! Touchdown Gary Brooklander as he bowled his way into the... Brooklander's 3rd touchdown of the season. Schillings point after would make it an 18-0 lead for the Pioneers. 5 plays, 70 yards, 2:48 off the clock. Pioneer defense does their job once again, forcing a punt. Pioneers would take over this time from their own 32-yard line. Another big play on a screen to Jordan Shippey, and another big play across the middle to Evan Gates down to the 1-yard line. Will Boney would do the rest from there. Center. Boney is the fullback. Brown is the tailback. Brooklander in motion. It's Will Boney into the end zone. Touchdown Pioneers. Touchdown Will Boney as he scores from his only touchdown this season. Will Boney caps a 7-play, 68-yard drive. Schillings point after makes it 25-0. It took 3:05 off of the clock. The Pioneers would kick short, and an upback would field it, return it to the 50-yard line. Ronnie Procopio would take it to the midfield stripe. and it would be Wingate with time against them, clock running against them, and were able to get down deep into Pioneer territory and convert on third down. A couple of penalties, then a sack to Williams, but then it was Blake Hayes who would go 9 yards to the 6, and Williams, you would think, was going to spike it. No, he decided to fake it, and he did it with his legs. Turns around, and he says, let me take it. It's a quarterback keeper as he lines up under center, and he gets into Yeah, he does get into the end zone. Dylan Williams, a 6-yard run, the McCollum kick, 9 plays, 50 yards, took 3:11 off the clock. And Wingate with some life as they go to the locker room down at not 25-0, but 25-7. First half highlights brought to you by your Greenville Light and Power System, serving Greenville and Greene County since 1945. Joe and I will have your second half for the final time this year when we return on Armed Forces Day during this Veterans Day special. Here at the half, it is Tusculum 25 and 12th ranked Wingate 7. Pioneer football continues after this. Thanks for listening to the Pioneer Halftime Report on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, one team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running into you.
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Quick Stop Markets, Realty Executives, Greenville Federal Bank, and Terry's Flooring. And now back to the field with Joe Bird. And the voice of the Pioneers, Ryan Staten. Pioneer football.
Late in the afternoon here from Pioneer Field, where the Tusculum Pioneers at the half lead the Wingate Bulldogs 25-7. Brian Staten, Joe Bird with you. Game station engineer, the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humbird. Some first half scores and other scores that are going on today for Tusculum College Athletics.
Brian, we got Lenore and Catawba. They are at the half, probably getting ready to kick off just like we are here. 1:30 start. Lenore at Catawba. That game is tied at 10. Last report, Newberry, Mars Hill. That game now is probably in the fourth quarter. Newberry leading 21-0. And Carson Newman also likely in the fourth by now. Carson Newman at home, 38-0 on UNC Pembroke. Tusculum men's basketball plays later tonight at 6 p.m. They are at
Banner Elk,
North Carolina, in their game. And Lady Pioneers basketball, they are playing here at home. That game is at 7:30, I believe. Preceded
probably will start at 8.
Yeah, because it's preceded 6 o'clock tip for Mars Hill and Converse in women's action.
So they'll play King this evening. Justin Jeffers will have the call of that women's basketball game at 8 o'clock here on the Pioneer Sports Network. We get set to start the second half. Wingate men's soccer team, defending national champions. They are in to the second round of the NCAA tournament as they are in action tomorrow, I believe, at Wingate. Mucklevane, 4 yards deep, will not bring it out. That's a bonus. So good job, Schillings. kicking that one deep and not allowing the return, or at least McIlvaine chose not to come out.
Wingate men's soccer winning the first and as of yet only team South Atlantic Conference champion in NCAA history.
For the South Atlantic Conference, they have had Carson Newman, two-time runner-up in football and in Division II. Lenore Ryan, runner-up in football. Those are just football. Then soccer, Lincoln Memorial and Carson Newman, each earning a runner-up finish in men's soccer before Wingate broke through last year.
LMU men's basketball have gone deep.
Yes, they went to the final game. Sorry, yes, they did. They were runner-up as well. So this will be Pittman, first play of the third quarter, and he's had a tough go of it. His 7th carry, and that's going to be his 11th yard. Quaheen Glasgow excited, so he must have done something special. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Well, maybe the Pioneers don't realize that it's Lawrence Pittman because he's wearing 25 instead of his 23. They go, oh, that's not Pittman. We can tackle this 25 guy. So they've stepped up the game against him.
Pittman forgot his jersey. For those of you who are wondering, Wingate fans, he forgot his jersey, and so he's wearing number 25 today. This will be Williams, empty backfield. The Pioneers are blitzing him, and he'll just throw this one away as Ivan Hogans was draped on his back. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9 as Hogans came on a blitz on an empty backfield, and Williams was running for his life.
And we talk about that jersey. You can just about bet that there's a different set of rules if he was a 100-yard rusher instead of a 1,000-yard rusher. Chances are he wouldn't be playing in the game, but whenever you've got 1,000 yards rushing, somebody down the line cough up the jersey.
3rd down, 9, 2 wide outs left, 2 to the right. The Wingate Bulldogs move left to right, or right to left on your radio as we view it. And 1 back in the backfield, Pittman. This will be Williams at quarterback, steps up, looks, runs, and has the 30, and will be taken down at about the 29. There should be a hold. Matt Simon was trying to get off his block and make the tackle. It would be 4th down and a yard where it is set, but it appears as if it will be a hold against Wingate, and knowing Wingate, they're a little desperate, down 25-7. They'll probably go for it on 4th down and a yard.
No indication yet. Wingate is saying it's against the Pioneers, but they don't make that determination.
Well, the quarterback had left the pocket, so it can't be a hold on the Pioneers, I don't think, for trying to pass, but it looks as if they are going to go that way. Wow, they are.
Perhaps a face mask the way they're stepping us off.
They're calling Matt Simon for a hold, but Williams was had already vacated the pocket. That's a tough. It's probably the right call, but still a tough one on 3rd down and 9. Once again, another 3rd down converted on a penalty. This time it favors Wingate.
Right, and this is what we talked at halftime. We have to guard against. The Pioneers can't give these up and let Wingate go down and get some sort of score and more momentum.
And in motion across the formation, they'll hand it off. Pittman gets outside, and he gets outside because of a hold on the left end. There it comes, very late, and it was right because Connor Baronis had all sorts of Matt Simon just holding him and then tackled him, and Pittman broke to daylight right there, so you had to make that call. Unfortunately, it came from the back judge, which is probably a much more tougher view for him, but he threw the flag anyway, and he had good arm. He threw that flag 30 yards.
So that's going to take it back to replay 1st down, be 1st down about 19 for the Bulldogs, just judging by the spot of the foul.
So back him up to the 34-yard line. 1 minute into the second half, the opening drive of the second half, Wingate with the football, down 25-7, facing 1st down and 20 from their own 34. So Williams, who has Pittman on his left shoulder, out of the gun. 2 wide outs to the far side. Jensen, the tight end, to this near side. Looking to the far side, throwing to the far side and completing it, but Martez Tompkins wrapping up McIlvaine quickly. A short gain of 5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 15.
Going to get a very good spot there. Wingate is offensively. Yeah, they gave him forward progress, but there really wasn't a whole lot of forward progress here because the wide receiver was knocked backwards just as soon as the ball reached his hands.
So 3 wideouts come to the near side. McIlvaine is near side along with J.T. Stokes, junior out of Juliet, Georgia. 1 wideout to the far side. Pittman to the right shoulder this time of Williams. He's looking to the left. Far sideline. The pass is going to be caught. That'll be Riley, and he'll be ridden out of bounds by Boyd, shy of the first down at the 47-yard line of Tusculum. So they'll need a yard for a first. It's a gain of 14 on the play.
Big play there after big play for Wingate. Wingate's coming in. They know what's on the line for them. I don't know what kind of a halftime talk Coach Joe Wright gave, but it had to be a good one.
Well, he knows he's probably got to pitch a shutout defensively here in this second half. And the Wingate Bulldogs, not a quick strike team, although they have the ability to quick strike in the running game. Pioneers are adjusting. They're not ready for this play, and they're still going to get the stop. Pittman did not go forward. He went backwards, and Lakeith Brown made the stop, 4th and a yard coming up for the Bulldogs.
Well, we know that Wingate is going to go for this. They're in Tusculum territory. They're down 25-7 on the road, last game of the regular season. 4th and a yard, no question about it for the Bulldogs.
Might have lost a couple of inches, even though the lollipop did not go anywhere. The ball is lined up just shy of the 47. So 4th down, Williams under center is going to hand it off. Pittman is going to break it outside, and he's breaking a tackle. He'll take it inside the 40 and take it down to the 36. Jay Boyd saves a touchdown as Tusculum comes on a run blitz, selling out, and the Bulldogs get the first down.
Well, that's the problem when defensively you do that. You commit everyone into the middle of the box to try to prevent just that short pickup, and if you've got a good running back that can cut the corner, you're picking up a big piece of real estate.
So 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Pioneer 37. Tusculum needs something positive here to happen for them defensively. Got a hole, but Wingate still moving behind the chains, able to pick up the first down. Jensen lines up to the left. Bring a man in motion once again across this formation. Hand it off to Pittman, but Lakeith Brown is right there again, along with P.J. Green. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 10, maybe 2nd down and 11 for the Bulldogs.
Lakeith Brown doing a really good job so far here in the second half. Officially only had 3 tackles in the first half. Seems like he's got at least that many already in the third quarter.
Yeah, he's played very well here. Already up to 6 tackles now in this football game. So the clock runs, 2 wide outs to the far side. Riley is in the slot. The far side receiver is Williams. Pittman lines up behind Williams. Play action fake. Looking. Will throw it, looking for Pittman. He lost it, and it was nearly picked off by Lakeith Brown, which would have been his 2nd of the game. Now it's 3rd down and 11 for the Bulldogs.
Take a look at this replay here. Good case for holding against Wingate, but nothing being called either way. It worked out for the Pioneers. They just have to get a couple stops here.
So 3rd down and 11 with 11 minutes and 8 seconds to play in the third quarter. Tusculum leading 25-7. Williams to the near sideline, their big tall receiver, along with J.T. Stokes, who will go in motion across the formation to the far side. Blake Hayes is in as the running back, left shoulder of that of Williams, who's out of the gun with the snap, looking under some pressure. He's stepping up, he's scrambling, he's throwing, and it's going to be complete, but it's only a gain of 2 to the Pioneer 36-yard line, where it'll bring up 4th down and 9, and Joe Reich is going to play some field position here. I think he's going to send the punt team out.
I would definitely watch for a fake, though. If this is the case, that's fine. Pioneers get the football back, hopefully burn out some clock, but just be mindful of the fake.
So Bulldogs are going to try to get some field position out of this, or at least they'll set up to punt. They'll put McIlvain from the left and move him over to the right. Pioneers have come after the punt each time that Baroses has punted it away, but they don't come this time, and he punts it away, and he's going to punt it into the end zone. It hits at the 1, and they had a gunner there. That was Ellis White, who could not keep it out of the end zone. So the Pioneers will have it 1st and 10 at the 20, as the punt will net 16 yards.
And right now, Wingate, they had the football. They had this long sustained drive. It ate up nearly 5 minutes off of this third quarter clock. Nothing to show for it. Pioneers, now they need a big long drive, but hopefully get some points on the board.
So 1st and 10 for Tusculum, their first offensive set here in this football game. Lakeith Brown, Matt Simon, each now with 7 tackles in the game. Halfway to a career best game for Lakeith Brown. He had 14 as a freshman against these Wingate Bulldogs. Ogle, 12 of 16 in the first half for 194. Comes under center. Tommy Brown in the backfield, 67 rushing yards in that first half, and he will bounce to daylight for just a brief second, but that daylight became darkness in a hurry. That defensive front did a nice job, but right there was Colton Beard that drove Brown back, gain of a yard.
Now, Tommy Brown listed 5'10", 175, so we know that adds an inch or so. The roster always adds an inch or so whenever you get a running back like that goes in amongst those big offensive and defensive linemen. You lose them in a hurry.
So Ogle, who will come under center on 2nd down and 9 for the Pioneers, leading 25-7. A quick screen complete to Gates. 25 gets a block at the 30, at 35 and up to the 40-yard line before he's taken down by Robbie Wallace. It's a gain of 19, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Good blocking downfield by Evan Altizer, and that's the type of plays the Pioneers need. We want the clock running, pick up your first downs, protect the football, and move on down the field.
Gates leads the team in receptions and receiving yards, 2nd in touchdown receptions with 3 this year, and again a converted wide receiver. He was a defensive back, linebacker last year for Jerry Odom, but he has emerged as the top target for Alex Ogle this season. Ogle to pass again. This pass complete to the tight end, Brooklander, as he'll take a defender with him to the 48 up to the 49-yard line before he is finally brought down. It will be just shy of the 1st down by a yard. It's 2nd down.
Brooklander doing a heck of a job right there. He had Kendrick Hicks on his back riding him, like a rodeo horse the entire way to make the catch and hold on to the football. So good, strong play there by Brooklander.
2nd down and a yard for the Pioneers. Brown is the running back. 3 wideouts to the near side for Tusculum, including Eric Lynch. Like to see him get into the end zone. His last game in a Pioneer uniform. 2nd down and 1. Back to pass. This is going to be Ogle. He's going to throw it deep for Davis. It's incomplete. The defender fell down, who was upset, thought it was probably a call. Cameron Johnson fell down. And the pass goes, it's good to take a shot, but the pass was about 10 yards overthrown. Davis couldn't get there.
Well, and you had him crossed up. He was looking left, he was looking right, looking back left, and finally realized where the football was. So just a little bit of miscommunication right there on the Pioneers' part.
So 3rd down and a yard coming up here for the Pioneers, as they will have Keandre Banks in this beef-tight set with 3 tight ends in the formation. They are unbalanced to the right. Now they're unbalanced to the left. Tommy Brown is the running back. Under center is going to be Ogle, and offsides on Wingate as the cornerback came up in the formation, and he basically gives Tusculum's a free 1st down here. He came up to defend the wide receiver who was off the line of scrimmage because Shaq Harris was off the line of scrimmage. He didn't have to be on the line, and the corner came in an offside position, so a mental mistake on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and Wingate still doesn't even realize that the penalty is over here.
The play did not go for a 1st down. As a matter of fact, the Bulldogs had a stop, a loss of 3 on the play, but there is a penalty, and I'm not even sure the referee knows that there's a penalty yet. Have they picked up the flag?
No, you still got the field judge standing right here, right over top of it.
Yeah, it was an easy call. They're going to move it back to the original line of scrimmage and then mark off 5 yards on the offsides against the Bulldogs.
Right now, Wingate is just realizing that the penalty was against the Bulldogs.
So a 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. And again, it was the corner. He just came over and he lined up. He lined up wrong. He didn't look down the sideline, or he didn't look down the line of scrimmage. So 1st down and 10 for the Pioneers. They have it at the Bulldog 47 in a 25-7 game. Under center is going to be Alex Ogle. Tommy Brown is the running back, and again, a quick throw. This complete to Cruel, 45 at the 40, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line of Wingate. Stopped there by Ellis White, who's had a big game defensively, but it moves the chains on a gain of 11. 1st and 10, Pioneers.
Pioneers are getting a lot of action on that play, and a lot of it has to do not only with Alex Ogle and his intended receivers. Evan Altizer, both of those plays, has done a really good job blocking to help get the new set of downs for Tusculum.
Going to have to bring in Cody Santmyers, as Kevion Broadwater, I believe, has an issue with some gear. And so Santmyers will come in at left tackle. Brown is the running back. Under center is going to be Alex Ogle. Ogle on 1st and 10 at the 36 will hand it off to Brown, and he's going to be blown up. A loss of 4 on the play, and that's just great penetration by this defensive line. They are starting to figure it out, and Tommy Brown, who had 67 yards in the first half, has not had the success so far here in this second half, as Colton Beard comes up with a big stop.
I mean, right there, Beard, he's the leader. We talked in these games. look at what he's come to do. Not total leader in tackles for losses, but that right there was at least his 7th, maybe 8th, depending on what he's done today.
So 2nd down, 13, ball back at the 39 for the Pioneers. Cannot play from behind the chains. What they are doing is taking off valuable time off this clock as we approach 7 minutes to play in the third. Ogle to pass. Stepping up in the pocket, has a man across the middle, complete at the 20-yard line. That's Eric Lynch. Lynch comes up with the catch, moves the chains, but there's a penalty in the backfield, and it looks like it's a hands to the face, which should go against Tusculum, just blocking. It's a tough call, tough penalty going against the Pioneers at this time.
Yeah, not what the Pioneers need whenever you get a big play to get that first down and then get it scrubbed away.
The referee threw the flag. So the personal foul against Corey Gillum with the hands to the face, and that will negate a big gainer of 19 yards for the Pioneers. We get these explosion plays. The tracker, we have a tracker for explosion plays this year. We haven't had many over the last couple of weeks outside of a kickoff return or a punt return. But we've had them in this football game so far, but now we'll need another one on 2nd down and forever. The ball is back at the Pioneer 46-yard line. They need to get to the Bulldog 26-yard line. Under center will be Ogle on 2nd down and very long. It's a draw to Tommy Brown up the middle, breaks a tackle at the 50, and he's just tripped up at the 50, at the 45 as he'll make it to the 41-yard line, or he's still running. It's 3rd down and long.
I mean, that's a terrible situation for the Pioneers. Great play, good job by Brown. He's just tripped up a little bit, but still, look at what they've done and watch this clock continue to run.
So Brown, who gains about 13, has now 3rd and 15 from the Bulldog 41-yard line. Banks, Gates, and Lynch to the far side. Altizer comes to the near side. Brown in the backfield with Ogle in the shotgun as we approach 6 minutes to play in the third. Ogle looking. Steps up in the pocket, runs. Breaks a tackle, and he'll lunge for the 35-yard line where he'll be stopped, and Wallace will come up with the stop. And I think here, if you're Jerry Odom, you also play the field position game possibly with Cantrell, who's one of the best in pinning the opposition deep. But they're going to leave the offense out there on 4th down and 9 at the 35.
Well, the Pioneers have looked at what they've done the last couple plays. They've either picked up big yardage or come very close. So they're thinking they can get the 9 or get a piece of it and then hold Wingate.
So Wingate, that a team that doesn't blitz very often, will have 3 down linemen. They'll drop 8 in coverage on 4th down and 9 with 5:20 to play in the third. They rush with just 3. They throw it across the middle, and Lynch falls down in the formation, as he was making the route, and he falls down. The pass goes incomplete, and the Bulldogs get a stop. It's 1st and 10, Wingate at the Pioneer 35.
The Bulldogs do get a stop, but not before the Pioneers chewed more than 5 minutes off the clock on that drive.
All right, Pioneer defense, a 3-and-out would be very key here, or vital, in their success for this football game. But just keeping them off the scoreboard will be even more impressive. So it'll be Blake Hayes who will be the running back for the Bulldogs. We'll have 2 wideouts in the formation. Jensen is the H-back and, the tight end. They'll adjust to the right side for Hayes. Go unbalanced to the right. Williams out of the gun or the pistol and turn around and hand it off to Hayes, who will run to that weak side or that boundary side. Jay Boyd comes up to make the hit on Hayes after he gains maybe 3 up to the 38-yard line. So Jerry Odom, really, he sees the formation, and then he yells out to Jay Boyd where to go, and Jay Boyd makes a nice play.
Well, and that's what we know at times this season, that Coach Odom has not been happy particularly all the time with Jay Boyd, just because he wasn't seeing, wasn't listening. But that young man has made some adjustments, and now he is, and obviously he did on this last play, and it helped Tusculum.
No question about it. He is a vital part for this Pioneer defense, the All-America from a year ago as a freshman. And now on 2nd down and 7, Hayes will have to turn it back up, and he will be brought down. D. Alford from his corner position, forcing Hayes to go back into the middle where all the help was, and Jalen Kesterson and Colton Strickland come up with the stop.
Yeah, it's good to see Jalen Kesterson here. His final game as a Pioneer graduate student, local product, played at West Green, so once again, go Buffs. We're glad to see Jalen having a good career here and a good day.
3rd down and 6. Wingate has converted on 3rd down and long all day. Wide out to the left, Williams. 1 to the near side is Stokes. And in the slot to the right is going to be Mitchell. Cross the formation, in motion. Williams to pass, looking, stepping up, throwing, and he's got a man complete at the 45, and he'll have it at the 46. That'll move the chains 1st and 10. Kesterson and Tompkins will combine for the stop on the gain of 7 to Mitchell.
Stop the clock just long enough to get the chains going. We've already started. Probably be very close to 3.5 minutes left by the time Wingate snaps the ball. 3.5 here in the third quarter.
Check that catch to Jay Hood, who then goes out of the game. He was a bit banged up, so he'll exit the contest at this time. So it'll bring up 1st and 10 at the 46. 25-7. Tusculum leading the Wingate Bulldogs, scoring 25 unanswered in that first half before Wingate scores in the final seconds of the first. Stokes goes in motion across the formation. They fake it to him, fake it to the running back, and throw it deep to Mason Flynn, who's catching it at the 30, 25, and down to the 10-yard line. The backup tight end comes up with a big play. Mason Flint, the redshirt freshman out of High Point, North Carolina, down to the Pioneer 20.
And that clock does continue to run. Again, we're just getting to the end of the third quarter, but still every second whenever you're Wingate counts, and the longer the Pioneers can keep them out of the end zone off the scoreboard, the better it is for Tusculum.
Under 3 minutes to play in the third. Williams works from the gun. Stokes in motion, and they'll hand it off to Blake Hayes. Hayes, a little daylight. He creates his own daylight from the 20 to the 15 and down to the 13 as Lakeith Brown comes up with that stop for the Pioneers. And again, the officials have to get in the face of a couple of extra players on some extracurricular after the play. It's 2nd down and 2 after the gain of 8.
And obviously, we don't want to see that from either side. Wingate definitely doesn't want to see it, knowing that one way or the other they're going to be going into the playoffs. So they're watching the clock, though.
Williams out of the gun. The tight end H-back adjusts. Flint and Jensen from the right to the left, and they're going to pass it. Looking across the middle, wide open is Jensen for the score. Touchdown Wingate. Touchdown Jake Jensen, who comes up with that touchdown, his second touchdown reception of the year, and the Bulldogs are back on the board.
Yeah, right now, Pioneers defense still has plenty of time. A lot of work to do. Don't let this stick in your head. Just come back on your next series on defense and do a little bit better job.
And really, I think if the Pioneer offense can get a score on this possession just to answer will be critical for the success of the Pioneers in this game. But with 2:02 to play in the third, the Bulldogs are back on the board. Their second touchdown in their last 3 offensive possessions. McCollum to add the point after. Snap, hold, kick is up and good. We go to a break, 2:02 to play in the third. It's now Tusculum 25, Wingate 14. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network. The Tusculum experience is 20 sports, 1 team, striving for excellence. The Tusculum experience offers state-of-the-art facilities for practice and game days. If you seek a championship atmosphere, the Tusculum experience is for you. Visit online through TusculumPioneers.com. Call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself. So Wingate gets a key 4th down stomp on the Pioneers from the 35 and then goes 65 yards for the score. Capped off by Jake Jensen's 13-yard pass from Dylan Williams. 6 plays, 65 yards, 3:11 off the clock. Interestingly enough, both of their scoring touchdowns have taken right at 3 minutes and 11 seconds off of the clock.
You know, it's kind of odd, though. I thought they would go for 2 because the math of it says if they would have gone for 2, they'd be down a touchdown and a field goal. Now, whether they hit it or whether they didn't, they've still got to score 2 touchdowns to get past the Pioneers.
He must not have had that chart. Tompkins to return this one from the 5, 20, and he takes a big hit at about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will take over 1st and 10. They lead the game 25-14, but the Bulldogs right now with some life. Their special teams comes up with the big play, and this Pioneer offense has to do something, I think, special on this drive.
I really think they do. A sustained scoring drive. Quick scoring drive is okay, but I would like to see a sustained scoring drive. Either way, the Pioneers have got to put points on the board.
So the Pioneers, who have it a first and 10 from the 21-yard line officially with 1:56 to play here in this third quarter of action. Tommy Brown is the running back. They have 3 wideouts in the formation, 4 down linemen for the Bulldogs, and Wallace and Singleton hanging around. And this is going to be Wallace. He'll make a play at about the 24-yard line. And it'll bring up a second down, close to 7 coming up for the Pioneers.
Yeah, not a big pickup for Tusculum on first down. Like to see those big pickups of 7 or 8 yards and then really open things up in second. And now it's the opposite. The Pioneers have got a lot of work to do on this down.
Jordan Shippey's going to see his second play of the game. Brown has to exit. And really, if you had Maxwell Joseph in on that play, it was just an arm tackle that brought down Tommy Brown. Maxwell Joseph breaks that arm tackle. But Brown has played well today. No question about it for the Pioneers. 1:15 on the clock. Second down, they'll call it 8. Ogle to pass. And he'll look, and he'll find a receiver complete at the 32, at the 35, and he'll look for more yards. Wingate trying to strip the ball away from Cruel, but they can't do that. Cruel has the first down to the Bulldog 37.
That's exactly what the Pioneers need to do. Make good, safe plays that gain the yards and move the chains and keep the clock running.
So Dylan Williams in the game for Wingate now offensively, the quarterback. 10 of 17, 106 yards, a score, and a touchdown. He also leads them in rushing with 59 yards in the football game. But here it is, Tusculum first and 10 from the 37. Jordan Shippey with the carry, runs into his own offensive lineman once again, and he'll gain nothing as the Pioneers will face second down and 10. Shippey, who is, we jokingly kid with him, run where our guys aren't many times.
Right now, just barely. I don't think that the Pioneers even have to snap the ball to get out of this quarter, so that would be the best thing to do. Don't even risk a play where something could happen. Just go on ahead and get into the fourth.
Yeah, it's a very, very close to that. So the Pioneers are going to let the play clock run out, the game clock run out. We're going to go to the fourth quarter. There's about a half-second difference between game clock and play clock. And Jerry Odom's Pioneers, who win their season finale last year against Carson Newman in overtime, can they do it against the Wingate Bulldogs today, the conference champion? Come back and find out. We go to the fourth with your score. It's Tusculum 25, Wingate 14. Pioneer football continues on Senior Day and Armed Forces Day here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
There's a lot more behind our signs you don't see.
Nice looking home. Let's go in.
I have a good feeling about this one.
When you see our sign out front, you know you're dealing with a reputable local realtor who knows your area. Hometown Realty is your sign of success. Hometown Realty of Greenville.
It's the sign of success. You're listening to South Atlantic Conference Football, Tusculum versus Wingate, with Brian Staten and...
So we start the fourth quarter. Tusculum leading the game 25-14, facing second down, 9.5. Tommy Brown, the running back. Gates and Altizer, the Evans, to the near side. They'll move Gates in motion across the formation and look to pass. This will be complete to Connor Johnston across the 40 and up to the 42-yard line to make it a more third down and manageable third down and about 5. And one of the Bulldogs stayed down on the ground for a minute there as he hit Connor Johnston square in the back. And he did so with the side of his helmet and his shoulder, more like a stinger right there.
Brian, scoring update. 2 games have gone final. Newberry shuts out Mars Hill. Newberry winning that game at home 28-0. And Carson Newman winning over UNC Pembroke 45-10. Into the third quarter, Catawba and Lenore Ryan kind of in a dogfight now. Catawba still leads, though, 24-17.
So a win today for the Pioneers gives them their second upper echelon finish in the league. They would be in the top 4 in the league. And a win for the Wingate Bulldogs would give them the program's first undefeated regular season. And they would be into the playoffs for the third time, I think, in program history. They are the two-time conference champions now, 2010 and now 2017. They wrapped it up outright last week with the big win against Limestone. It's a Wingate offense that has been on fire of late, 42, 44, and 44. In each of their last 3 games. Have been blowing out the opposition. But here today they have to rally from behind. They have done so this year against Catawba. They have done so this year against Carson Newman. And they have done so as well. I believe it was Fayetteville State they trailed early and rallied from behind. But they trailed 25-14 here. They face 3rd down and 5 with the Pioneer offense on the field. Ogle is out of the gun. 3 wideouts to the near side. Wingate rushing 3. They dump it off to a screen. It'll be complete to Brown, and Zach Singleton has not been fooled on that play, and they get the stop on a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down coming up for the Pioneers. They'll have to punt it away.
Definitely not the kind of play the Pioneers needed there. Really doing everything they could to get the first down. Wingate showing why they are 6-0 in South Atlantic Conference, 9-0 overall. Trying to win this thing out so they can be region number 1 seed.
All right, so here's the dangerous situation here. Mucklevane, who has returned 3 punts for scores this year, including an 85-yarder, facing the conference's 2nd leading punter in Cantrell. Cantrell didn't give him a chance on the first punt. It was a short kick, but it rolled 27 yards. This one, returnable. No, he's going to ask for the fair catch. He comes up, fields it at the 22, but Cantrell does his job. He doesn't want to give him the chance to get a full head of steam. So it will be Wingate football from the 24-yard line, and they trail in the game 25-14.
And do the math, that's 11 points. Got to have 2 touchdowns to surpass the Pioneers. So the Pioneers don't have to keep Wingate out of the end zone right now. They just need to make Wingate maybe get a long drive, eat up clock of their own, and then hopefully get a turnover and keep them out of the end zone.
Well, what they could do, score the touchdown, go for 2.
Yeah.
And then kick the field goal. So, but you still have to almost have 3 scores in a way. So this will be a running play for the Bulldogs. And again, Pittman, who has yet to really get going in this contest, maybe a yard, but the Pioneer front has done a good job against Pittman in the game. Blake Hayes has had some success for Wingate, but Pittman has not had that success.
Now, the Pioneers are looking for success here at home in the final game of the season, and a game that they really weren't supposed to be in, perhaps for the 2nd year in a row.
So it is for the Bulldogs, Pittman, who has 10 carries, just 20 yards today. He has another carry here, and this is going to be a nice job by J.Q. Alston Thompson. Comes up with the play and a loss of about 3 on the play. Back at the 22, depends on the spot. Either way, it's going to be 3rd and long.
3rd and long for Wingate. Now, we've preached all day, all season about not giving up first downs whenever you've got the other team backed up 3rd and long. If there's one time this season they're going to do it, perhaps now's the time to step up and finally get that stop.
Yeah, you're right. It has been tough at times to watch. 3rd and long, and Pioneers give up big plays. Richard Gervell, defensive end on the right side. He is a speed rusher. Now he's going to line up on the left side as Wingate will adjust. They'll go empty, 5 wideouts. Last time that Wingate did this, Pioneers got a sack. Williams to pass. He's got a man complete at the 30, and he's going to be taken out of bounds shy of the 34-yard line, but that's right at the line to gain. And unfortunately, that's going to be a 1st down.
Well, just give them enough to get the 1st down. Now we finally get the official confirmation.
Good catch by Cardell Rawlings. Can't be him. Malik Bledsoe. Yeah, Malik Bledsoe with the catch. The wideout comes up with the catch. Again, these double numbers for us. 12 minutes to play in the game, 25-14. Tusculum with the lead. Play action pass. This one's going to be tipped, but that's going to be another catch that's going to be made by Rawlings. Bledsoe. We'll get him right here in a minute. Bledsoe makes that catch after it was tipped, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and about a yard.
Probably going to be catchable either way, but it was. One of the Pioneers got a hand on the ball and just tipped it right into Bledsoe's hand.
So it's going to bring up 2nd down and a yard. Stokes to the near side. Passing game working right now for the Wingate Bulldogs. The running game not so much at this moment. But the handoff on second and a yard, and Pittman is going to have the first as he'll cross the 45 up to about the 46-yard line of Wingate, where it moves the chains. Pioneers leading 25-14 with the clock running at 11:20 to play in the game.
Wingate's still not getting in any kind of real hurry because they know, hey, we've had the momentum here in the second half. We've scored the points. They're moving downfield, but still just taking their time.
Grind right down for the Pioneers. I think it's Blake Hayes in the backfield for the Bulldogs. They'll bring a man in motion, and they'll run this fake to the jet sweep, and they'll hand it off to Hayes, and he may struggle for a couple up to about the 48-yard line. We're to bring up second down and 8. Quaheem Glasgow is there for the stop, along with Tusculum's Devin Woodson.
We do need to note both teams still have their full complement of timeouts here as we go under 10:45 remaining in the game.
The Pioneer football team, David Johnson out there at corner, so D. Alford is not out there right now. They are looking at him. He is being checked out on the sideline right now and does not look as if he may return to this game. Second down and 8, play action pass. This is going to be Williams. He took a hit as he delivered the pass. It will be incomplete, and penalty flags will fly as David Johnson is beat. Williams took a massive hit from P.J. Green, just threw it up, and the pass interference will give Wingate a 1st and 10 near the 40-yard line of the Pioneers.
D. Alford being helped off the field, too, from the Pioneer training staff. Alford got a towel over his head, and they're taking him into the locker room.
So concussion for him, no question about that, the way they are treating this. And that's big news because he would be out there. David Johnson, I saw what probably the Wingate staff saw. Unfortunately for David Johnson, he has kind of been he's been picked on a couple of times this year already. At Newberry, they did that against Catawba, picked on him a bit.
So right now, better time, hey, step up. If you're being picked on, show them not to do that. Redeem yourself.
Well, you just got to locate the ball. And he just ran down the field and just grabbed the guy and commits the foul. So 2 wideouts to the far side, 1 to the near side. Jay Hood comes to the near side for Wingate. Pittman is in the backfield. I believe it's we're going to run the Wildcat because Williams took a pretty big hit as well. So he's out of the football game right now. They don't have another quarterback. So it's going to be Riley who's going to run the Wildcat. The Pioneers picked up on it, realized what was going on, and they come up with the stop. And it's going to be J.Q. Alston Thompson with the stop behind the line, second down and 11.
Well, I mean, I guess that's one thing whenever you're a defense and you know that your opponents are already on their backup quarterback and you've got somebody in the Wildcat, you kind of know he's not going to throw the football.
Probably good, yeah. So Williams back in there for the Bulldogs. Second down 11 from the 38. They've converted on third down and long in this drive. Have the Bulldogs. They trail 25-14 as we go under 10 minutes to play in the game. Williams to pass. Looking under some pressure. He's just going to loft it up down the field. Jay Boyd over there to deflect it away. Incomplete. Intended for Mitchell. And it brings up third down and 11 for the Bulldogs.
Good play there for the Pioneers. Good, clean play. No penalties. Williams looking downfield. They was always going to do that, and so that gave Boyd time to get across and help defend.
So it will bring up third down and 11. 9.5 to play.
Now, obviously, this is 2-down territory and 2-down time for Wingate. So here again, you've got to survive third down and fourth down as well.
Williams out of the gun. Pittman on his left shoulder. 3 wideouts in the formation, and 1 comes in motion to the near side. Unbalanced here. Hayes in the backfield, Williams is going to get away from 1. Look downfield, have it complete at the 32-yard line. That's where forward progress will be. So it'll be fourth down. They're actually going to say the 31. It's a very, very good spot. And so it's fourth down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs.
And all day long, holding has been the play of the day, and nobody.
How can you not see that? That was unbelievable. Fourth down, 4. A game that's had some really big penalties in it with hands to the face in the backfield, but the hold, sometimes it's just obvious. All right, anyway, Williams on fourth down for the Bulldogs. Back to pass, rolls the pocket to the far side. He's going to loft it to the corner. It's incomplete, out of bounds, and the Pioneers get a stop. Jay Boyd was over there. Mitchell caught it, but he was out of bounds. What a great catch but Mitchell couldn't stay in play, and the Pioneer offense is on the field.
Big stop there for the Pioneer offense. 9:12 on the clock when it restarts. Right now is the time where your Pioneer offense needs to go down, do something to put points on the board.
So Tusculum, who leads the game 25-14, 9:12 to play in the game, and an undefeated season hanging in the balance for the Bulldogs, coming here to Pioneer Field, where, let's just be honest, they don't like coming here to Greenville very often. Their last win, 2013, that was a shootout, 41-33. They got the win. But in 2 of their last 3 times here, they've lost. Tommy Brown with the carry, and he'll do well to get back to the line of scrimmage, and fortunately they will give him that spot at the line of scrimmage, and the stop is made in the secondary by Davion Washington out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Not the play the Pioneers were looking for right there. Now they've got their work cut out for them on 2nd and 10 from 31.
Runs the clock, though, with 8:50 to play. Tusculum last year, with the remnants of Hurricane Matthew, went to Wingate, North Carolina, played a game in which they didn't score a point. That was the first time in 119 games that the Pioneers were shut out. They got on the board quickly here against the Bulldogs, got up to a 25-0 lead. This pass on 2nd down and 10 will be complete to Chavis Williams. He's out of bounds at the 39. We're to bring up 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Pioneers.
All right, get a good play here. Don't have to get fancy. Just get the 2 yards you need to get a fresh set of downs.
Again, Brian Ferguson felt like he had to dial up the perfect offense to get out to a quick start. They got the quick start they needed and leading at 25-0, but since they've not been able to find some of that magic in the passing game as far as some of the explosion plays. So here they face 3rd down and 2, just want to move the chains, but there are literally 22 men within 5 yards of the ball, and Tusculum is going to call a timeout. And that's a good timeout. Jerry Odom goes over to Brian Ferguson and says, hey, you know what? They had that play. Good timeout. Hey, just a reminder for you, Tusculum women's basketball is coming your way later tonight here on the Pioneer Sports Network. Justin Jeffers will have that for you. Tusculum versus King University. After a big win against Converse to open up the year for Devin Carter, his women are back on the hardwood tonight here at Pioneer Arena. You can come join us here on campus or tune in here on the Pioneer Sports Network. Nick Pasqua's Tusculum men took a hard loss last night to Pasqua's former employer, the King University Tornado, 101-94 last night in Banner Elk, North Carolina. And Tusculum men will be back in action in Banner Elk against Lees McRae at 6 o'clock today. You can follow that one on live stats through the Lees McRae Athletic website.
We're talking about Tusculum sports. Have we had real mention that, if I read right, the Pioneers are going to be adding women's beach volleyball?
Beach volleyball. How about that? You know?
Great lot of excitement here at the Tusculum campus. New things happening, new buildings going up, new programs being started, new sports coming online.
Just a new sport to stat, you know? To brush up on my beach volleyball jargon. Go out there and sit down. Maybe wear the Bermudas, you know? Get the shorts on. Maybe a sleeveless shirt. Maybe they can borrow one from one of the baseball guys. They've always got those sleeveless shirts, you know. Ogle to pass on 3rd down and 2, and he's going to be sacked. Coming off the left end was Cardell Rawlings, the junior. Rawlings, 3rd on the team in tackles, has his 4th sack of the year, and it's going to force the Pioneers to punt it away. And after the timeout, the Pioneers didn't get the play they obviously wanted.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why that was the play choice whenever you needed 2 yards. You really need a 1st down here, and to try to go with the low percentage play instead of just trying to trust your defense or your offensive line to push forward and get that little bit of yardage.
Yeah, that's tough to say. I know what you're saying. That's tough, though, with what's been happening, but it just seems to take too long. So Wingate, tip your cap to them. Pioneers just get it off. Cantrell gets off a missile. Mucklevane drops it. He's muffed it. It's on the ground, and it's going to be picked up, fortunately, by Wingate inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Holy cow.
Not the glory that could have happened there with recovering that football, but still, you got off a great punt by Cantrell and pinned them back at the 9-yard line, so definitely going to make Wingate work here.
Martez Tompkins, what a gunner he has been for the Pioneers. So Mucklevane, who has 3 returns for scores this year in the punting game, nearly gave the Pioneers a knockout blow. The opportunity to score. Right now, it's still within Wingate's grasp. Tompkins gets down there, And they are fortunate Ian O'Grady didn't get on top of that. As for the Wingate Bulldogs, it was Raymond Owens who recovered it. Empty backfield for Williams, back to pass. He'll step up in the pocket and be sandwiched and go down at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the defensive line. They just filled the gap, and when Williams took off, it looked like Kyle Bailey was able to step in there and make the tackles.
Well, and it's about time, because how many times today has Williams burned the Pioneers on almost that similar play?
Too many. Clock runs, under 7 minutes to play. Williams to pass, looking near side to Jensen, complete up to the 16-yard line. Lakeith Brown makes that stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 coming up for the Bulldogs. As the clock runs with 6.5 to play, they're down 25-14.
Jensen doing his best to get out of bounds, and right there the Pioneers going from tackler to not letting him get out of bounds.
So Williams out of the gun again. Blake Hayes in the backfield, looking left, looking right, throwing right to Jensen, and Jensen will be upended by Cameron Gurgley, who is in at the left corner position, but it'll be a 1st down, moving the chains at the 25.
That stops the clock long enough to move the chains and set the ball, but just already back underway.
So here for the Bulldogs. Now at 6 minutes to play, they get the snap, and this will be Hayes. And this running game has not had that explosion play as they have had all year long. Wingate's running game has long plays of 54, 55, and 55 on the year, but their long today has been, 18 yards is their long, and that's their quarterback.
Right now, Wingate kind of in a little scrum there, trying to get up, burning precious clock for the Bulldogs.
5.5 to play, down 11. Williams to pass, looking, near side has a man that's going to be complete at the 35, at the 40, 45, at the 50, and to the Pioneer 48-yard line will go Stokes.
Wingate has burned the Pioneers 3 times on this drive on basically that same play. At some point, the Pioneers are going to have to make an adjustment.
Bulldogs in the hurry up, and Tusculum's going to call a timeout, their 2nd timeout, because Wingate was going fast and Tusculum did not lick to be set. So some of the fire gone for the Pioneers right now, but they lead it by 11. We'll step aside, back in 30 seconds to Pioneer Field. 5:16 to play in the game. Tusculum leads Wingate by 11.
Tusculum College is Tennessee's first college. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where students from all around the world have found a home. Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit online for more information at tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 and discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
Off the field during this timeout, and I don't know if that's why they called the timeout or not, but now D. Alford is gone. Boyd just his hip, and he is having a hard time moving. So into the game for the Pioneers will be Bryce Bartlett. He'll play that safety position with Malik Goodman. Already down D. Alford, now Jay Boyd. You can ill afford that. Boy, this Pioneer football team has had the injuries this year. Williams is looking to go deep. Cameron Gurgley, nice defense, and he can't come up with the interception. He laid out for it, but that was just great coverage by Cameron Gurgley. It's incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
It really was, boy. How far would an interception gone right there? The Pioneers have done a good job of not letting these big plays get in. They just have to watch the penalties because they have been susceptible to that.
Well, this Bulldog team has won the second half, no question about that as far as the yardage is concerned. Pioneers had 2:59 at the break. Williams to pass. It'll be complete. Muckelvane gets away from one, but Matt Simon with the sure-handed tackler. He got away from Tompkins, or Brown won. I think it was Tompkins, and he'll take it down to the 35 for a 1st down.
1st down, clock and runs were now under 5 minutes remaining here in this football season.
So 1st and 10, Bulldogs down 11. Back to pass will be Williams, scrambling, losing the football. It's loose. The Pioneers have it. Josh Forrest recovers it, and the Pioneers turn away the Bulldogs again. Colton Strickland forced it after he was being held, and the Pioneers will turn away Wingate.
Absolute massive play, not just for today's game, but for this season for Tusculum College. Trying to do something to get feeling good about themselves going into the recruiting season. And if you can preserve a victory here, and plays like that will help you, what better way to do that?
That's just great persistence. I believe it was Colton Strickland who was just being held unmercifully in the backfield. They threw the flag for that. Strickland trying to get away once, then twice, forced the fumble, and Josh Forrest fell on top of it.
You know, fumbles not been a real issue today, but whenever the Pioneers get a chance to capitalize, they do.
1st and 10, Tusculum at the 42-yard line. They lead at 25-14 with 4:40 to play. Tommy Brown with the run going outside, and he'll actually run out of bounds. As he ran out of bounds at the 44-yard line. He gains a couple, brings up 2nd down and 8.
You know, if you do or don't count the muffed punt down there, really that's the first time either team has put the ball on the ground that I remember.
That's true.
We had the interception by Keith Brown early in the game, and then that's only the 2nd turnover.
Pioneers have less than 100 yards of offense here in this second half, about 80 yards or so. And that's just eyeballing it. The Bulldogs have won the second half by the yards, but the Pioneer defense with the 2nd turnover of the game. Tommy Brown just needs a break and tackle, does. 40, 50, down to the 40 of Wingate, down to the 41 of Wingate. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Keep the clock running and protect the football. That's right there is key for the Tusculum Pioneers right now. And what Tommy Brown did on that play is exactly what this team has to have out of a young running back.
Tommy Brown closing in on 100 yards on the day. Came in, he had 72 all year. He's over that already in this one game. He has been the feature back all game. No Maxwell Joseph, no Jordan Shippey, and Lorenza Pratt was gone for the year 3 games ago. 1st down and 10. Ogle under center from the Bulldog 41 at 3.5 to play in the game. Ogle is hit, dropped the football. It's still loose, and maybe Wingate has it. Ogle took a big hit, blindsided. Wingate believes they have it. For some reason, Tommy Brown was unable to fall on top of it, but the Bulldogs do fall on top of it. And coming up with it for Wingate is Ontrell Mack.
So once again, why do you call the pass play in that situation whenever it's about clock management and ball protection? Some lack of blocking, I guess, on the right side of the line there.
Yeah,
Ogle got hit from behind, and now Wingate has set up shop inside Tusculum territory.
Cardell Rawlings came unblocked. So there was a missed assignment on the offensive line, no question. Unblocked, and Ogle took a massive shot, and it took a long time for him to get up off the field.
Well, I hope we have another opportunity to see him on the field very, very, very soon. If nothing else, just that means that the offense is back on.
P.J. Green runs onto the field late. Goodman comes with the blitz. This pass will be incomplete. It was well thrown, but Hood just couldn't come up with it as Tompkins comes up with the coverage. It's incomplete. 2nd down and 10 from the Pioneer 47-yard line.
A little bit miscommunication with all these Pioneer defensive players injured. They're just trying to make sure they've got 11 on the field.
So Jay Boyd, who's being looked at as safety, is out. D. Alford, corner, is out. Gurgley is out there for the Pioneers. Right now at corner. Back to pass. Hood is going to be complete to the Pioneer 40. We're to bring up 3rd down and 3. And as I was getting ready to say, Bryce Bartlett is in at safety right now for the Pioneers.
And once again, how many times does Wingate get to go to the well on that exact same play and pick up a big piece of real estate?
Yeah. 3rd down and 3 here from the 40. Williams to pass. Looking across the middle. That one's tipped away by Tompkins. What a play, denying Hood, as Martez Tompkins has played great all year long.
He really has. He's got 3 interceptions, 7 pass breakups, make that 8 at least.
He comes in 4th in school history with 8 career interceptions. And the Bulldogs will call a timeout there first with 2:57 to play on 4th down and 3. But more on Tompkins and just what he has meant to this team. 4th in school history in career interceptions. It's going to take a monumental effort to catch Ricardo Coakley. In his last home outing today, against Catawba, he had 7 pass breakups, 10 passes defended, which are 2nd in the conference. That's not what he did against Catawba. I'm reading that wrong. He did have his 8th career interception in the last game against Catawba. But what Martez Tompkins has done, more than just on the defensive side of things, he's been the gunner since D. Alford got hurt early, mid-season. And he's been the guy that's been down there eliminating any type of punt return, which is why Hunter Cantrell is enjoying so much success net punting.
And really has. And just, I mean, even look at what he did today earlier on the drive where Penn Wingate back deep.
Exactly. You know, he almost forces the muff. 2 weeks ago against Carson Newman, he had the muff recovery against Carson Newman. There was a positive moment for the Pioneers, maybe one of the very few. If you paid attention to the Pioneer Kickoff Show, our highlights from last week were 1:15 long, so that's usually not good.
No.
And of that 1:15, 45 seconds of it was the song. 4th down and 3 from the 40. Out of the timeout by the Bulldogs. Mitchell in motion, rolling the pocket near side. Williams looking near side to Mitchell. He's got the catch, and it's shy of the first down based on the mark. They need right past the 42, and it looks like the mark is shy of the 42. Now, it's on the near sideline, and I can't see it well because the Pioneers are standing there, but it is very, very close.
All right, you've already got the down marker moved, flipped over to first down. It's not indicated what it's going to be. That needs to go back.
It's close. Mitchell was the man in motion across the formation. Either way, there's 2:52 to play in this football game. You need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal just to tie it. Now, we have been part of the fiasco here at Pioneer Fair where crazier things have happened. We can't see. It's a first down.
We were going to be able to tell because the Pioneer defensive unit was taking a knee right on the getting a good look at the measurement, and I was just watching them. I wasn't paying attention to the officials. If I saw the Pioneers jump up real quick, I would have known what was going to happen.
So it's a 1st and 10 for Wingate, barely, by the nose of the ball. 2:52 in the game, 25-14. Tusculum leading. All 25 points came very early, and after some mistakes and miscues by the Bulldogs. They gave up a field goal, a safety, and a touchdown, all in a matter of 5 minutes. 1st down and 10 for Williams to pass. This one will be to Stokes. Did he catch it and hang on? He did at the 27-yard line. Cameron Gurgley there with the stop, very close to the chains, and this one looks like it will be moving the chains for a 1st and 10.
I was going to say, of course he did. It's just this same play right out to the right side. They've gone to it at least a half dozen times now.
A lot of it is just make sure they do everything in front of you and not behind you. This is another quick hitter by Williams, and this one will be complete as well to the 20-yard line. Gain of 7, bring up a 2nd down and 3.
Clock runs with no under 2.5 minutes remaining in the contest.
Bledsoe makes that catch there. So Williams, who has done a nice job here for the Bulldogs, now nearing 250 yards passing. Williams will scramble this time right up the middle. He'll take it down to the 10-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for Wingate as the clock will run as soon as they set the chains. 2:15 and Wingate with 2 timeouts remaining.
And already in position, just waiting for a chance to snap the football.
So the Bulldogs, this will be Williams. And before the play gets underway, Tusculum has to burn their final timeout. So Jerry Odom burns the timeout to get the defense back on track. Tusculum, who had a fumble recovery, had the ball, and then on 3rd down and 2, electing to pass. A blown assignment on the offensive line by the right tackle allowed Cardell Rawlings to come in, jar the ball free from Alex Ogle, and Brown could not fall on it even though he was there. Entrell Mack recovered it and gave Wingate this field position.
He was there, and he was in the process of corralling the football whenever he got hit, and that jarred it loose that 2nd time, and unfortunately it was one of the Bulldog players that recovered.
You know, lots of times you wonder if you recover the ball and you're on the ground and it's clear sight recovery, which it almost looked like it was for Brown. He had it. He was down. You're down.
You're down by, especially in a college game. Professional, you have to be down by contact. College, you have to be down when you're down.
Well, here it is, a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs with 2:08 to play in this football game. Tusculum hanging on to an 11-point lead. They led by 25. 25-0. And that was all in the first half. This offense has done nothing here in the second half. Barely have 100 yards, I think, of total offense. That doesn't matter. What matters is the points on the board. Right now, Williams out of the gun. He's looking to the far side. and this one will be incomplete. Cameron Gergley defending on Hood. It's 2nd down and goal from the 10.
Pioneer just has to be very careful here defensively because Wingate's got the ability to throw the ball. We know what the running backs are capable of, and quarterback Williams has burned us on that draw, whether it's by design or just being flushed out of the pocket all day. So everybody has to maintain and watch their assignments.
So it will be Williams. They'll huddle up here. They have that opportunity with the clock stopped. 15 seconds on the play clock when they break the huddle. 2nd and goal from the 10. Running game hasn't been there today for one of the best running teams, not only in the conference, but the country. Pittman is on the left shoulder. Williams looking to pass. He's going to the corner of the end zone, and it's dropped. Matt Simon in the coverage, and unable to bring it in was Bledsoe. It hit him right in the worst spot, right in the hands.
Yeah, I think Matt Simon did get a hand on the ball, and that's why Bledsoe couldn't quite get it pulled in. Simon stretched out. I don't know if he was thinking interception or what he was doing, but either knocking it down, either way, he did kind of deflect it enough to prevent the touchdown.
So Williams, who has completed 21 passes, 21 of 33 today. Those are career numbers, by the way. 214 yards. He's also the team's leading rusher with 62 yards. 3rd and goal from the 10. Pioneers blitz picked up, and the pass is dropped again by Bledsoe. And it's 4th and goal from the 10, and the kicking team will come out because you need 2 scores. You need a field goal, and then you need to get into the end zone and convert a 2-point conversion just to tie it.
Just to tie it. So right now, things are in the Pioneers' hands. Minute 54 on this clock.
So the guy who leads the conference in field goals made per game at 1.2 per game, it'll be McCollum who will come in to attempt from 27 yards. Mullis to snap it. Barozas to hold it. McCollum to kick it. Snap, hold, kick is good. So the Bulldogs do get on the board with the 27-yard field goal, and now we'll have an onside kick attempt when we return in 30 seconds. 1:50 to play in the game. Tusculum 25, Wingate 17. Pioneer football continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, funny running to
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Go inside the right upright. 27-yard field goal caps an 11-play, 37-yard drive, 1:36 off the clock. It comes after the first turnover of the game by the Pioneers. So now Tusculum without Jay Boyd in the game. And we'll have the good hands team out. Tommy Brown is back deep. Altizer is on the near side. Cruel is on the far side. And what does Wingate have for the Pioneers here? As McCollum will be set to kick it off with Matthew Marks. So both kickers in the game right now around the football. And a recovery plus a touchdown and a 2-point conversion is needed for Wingate.
What Wingate does have, no matter what the outcome of this kick, they've got 2 timeouts. Tusculum has none.
So 1:50 left in a sense. Tusculum recovers it. They would still have to run the plays. And they'll run the onside to the far side, where it's going to be covered up by Cameron Gergley of the Pioneers, fielding it at the 49-yard line. It was a decent kick, but Cameron Gergley fields it cleanly, and the Pioneers have it at the 49 with 1:49 left, leading by 8. And Wingate, as Joe has already said, 2 timeouts remaining, so Tusculum's going to have to run the offense so they can't turn it over.
You know, that onside kick, that's straight up some sort of soccer direct kick misdirection. You had 2 kickers overstep, fake, and then the third guy was the one that actually kicked the football.
Tusculum in this game. No points here in this second half. Going to turn around and hand it off to Tommy Brown. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be tackled by Joe Kelly the fifth-year senior out of Columbia, South Carolina. He was hurt earlier in the game, and the Bulldogs will burn a timeout here.
I was watching Coach Reich, and Brown wasn't even on the ground, and Coach Reich's over there giving the timeout signal, so we knew that was going to happen.
Tusculum has run 51 plays to Wingate's 74. Tusculum has 347 yards of offense to Wingate's 342. But Tusculum has hit them with the big play, and in the first half, it was Brian Ferguson and the offense dialing up every right call to get all the momentum their way. Wingate took a little bit of that momentum right at the end of the first half, and it's just been a grind here in the second half.
It really has. It's been a grind that right now Tusculum has they're still surviving. Hopefully they, minute 44 of game time, we will have say the Pioneers have survived, but they've got to get a first down here, Brian.
Again, Tusculum coming off a bye week. They're good against Wingate coming off a bye. They are 2-1 all-time against the Bulldogs coming off a bye week. And since the reinstatement of football in 1991, off bye weeks, Tusculum 8-5. So Ogle is going to come under center. They go unbalanced to the right. Out of this timeout, 1:44 left in the game. And the season for the Pioneers, there is tomorrow for Wingate. Brown will run it to the left, and he'll take it down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. They went unbalanced and ran boundary side. And the Bulldogs will burn their final timeout.
They do.
On third down, the chain gang is trying to give first down to everybody all the time. They're just trying to move the chains all the time.
Hey, these guys want to earn their paycheck over there today. We said we can't get paid for just standing here. Let us move these things.
So the Pioneers likely to open with North Greenville next year. I believe the schedules are out. I'll check those here before I start talking about something I'm not very familiar with right now. But this season starting at North Greenville with all sorts of promise. A 1-point loss there and missing 2 critical extra points. And it was the season to start the year, Joe, of the shoulda, coulda, woulda. A team that could have been likely 5-1 to start the year, just didn't get off to that type
start.
That
you go back and look, North Greenville, the Pioneers, I won't say should have won, but had an opportunity to win. Same thing against Limestone. Perhaps should have won the Limestone game. The first game where the Pioneers just did not play well was Lenore Ryan.
Right. So for Tusculum facing 3rd down and 5 from the 44, the Bulldogs cannot stop the clock anymore. Under center is going to be Ogle. He'll turn around, hand it off to Brown. Brown will not get back to the line of scrimmage, and so the clock will run on 4th down, and now Cantrell will be asked to come in and pin the Bulldogs deep. And by the time they'd have to snap it and probably could take a penalty, truthfully, to let all the clock come out or run. Actually, you wouldn't want to. Go ahead and punt it, let the clock continue to run.
Let the clock continue to run, and Hunter Cantrell has stepped up so many times this season, and right now, if we're going to let him get a step up, get a good pin deep, don't let a return happen. Now is the time.
Tusculum is going to stay on the sideline as if they're going to take this penalty, which would be at 54 seconds to play. Coming up at the conclusion of the game, stay tuned for our Pioneer post-game report. Pioneer coach Jerry Odom and our Pioneer player of the game. And today it's been a slew of them. A bunch of great plays by guys, but some seniors have had to step up and make some big plays. And I think of Evan Gates. He made 2 key catches in that first half to continue a drive. Alex Ogle had his best game in a month here today. So Cantrell to punt it away. Mucklevane standing at the 10. Hopefully won't have a chance. And the officials are going to talk. September 1st, the Crusaders will come here in 2018. That'll be the next game for the Tusculum Pioneers.
Trying to figure out exactly what's going on in this game instead of looking ahead to next season. Nobody's got timeouts. So exactly what are the referees doing?
I don't know what they're talking about. Tusculum has struggled today on 3rd downs again, 1 of 7, but they converted via penalty a couple of times.
Wingate will not choose to enforce his act 10, therefore the clock will start on
It was the 10-second runoff. Because of the penalty, you could have had a 10-second runoff, usually, which penalizes the offense, but Wingate wants the time, so they said we're not going to enforce it.
But it is enforced. Oh, okay. But they went ahead and enforced it anyway. They didn't want the 10-second runoff. Tusculum will have a different bit of a formation here. Just get it away. And Cantrell just got it away. Mucklevane. It'll hit at the 15, and they'll watch him. And a penalty is thrown.
That's going to be a block in the back against the Bulldogs.
And that'll back him up even more. 42 seconds to play. Tusculum didn't even pick up the ball smartly as the clock continued to run.
I would have liked to have seen Hunter Cantrell try to sell some sort of foul right there.
Yeah, they knew they were going to come after it, but Cantrell's done a good job, as he has all career long. The all-time leader in punt yardage and punts.
We ask that all fans please stay off the playing surface.
So Wingate, after the penalty, decide what that penalty was. They were penalized 8 times for 100 yards in that first half. And they're at 10 for over now 115 yards of penalties for the Bulldogs in this game. Alex Ogle, who has not...
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 26 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the hole. First down, Wingate.
So that's going to back the Bulldogs up to probably close to the 5 or 6 yard line. It's already back deep, and they're going to get. It's going to be right at the 6 personal foul penalty.
Matt Simons had another big game to remember, a new career high for him with 11 tackles. Lakeith Brown, he has a 10-tackle game on the year for the in this game. His career best 14 against Wingate 2014. So 1st and 10 back at the 6 for the Bulldogs with 40 seconds to play and no timeouts, and this one is incomplete. A late flag comes in, and that ball was uncatchable.
They're going to say that he was bumped back in the middle of the field, but you're right, the ball was uncatchable, so we'll see if the others can talk him out of it. 2 guys just crisscrossed and ran into each other.
The flag came from the back judge. You have to have a pretty good view of that. 36 seconds to play in the game. That's going to be a tough call against Tusculum. And again, get a look at it here. That's 2 guys on a rub route. I see what they're going to call Cameron Gurgley tackling Riley, but that was 2 wide receivers for Wingate, and that's incidental contact. That's a terrible call. They don't get the benefit of seeing it, but that's more on Wingate than that's on Wingate. That's not on Tusculum. I mean, that's not a good call.
No, that's designed for setting a pick, and that rub route to draw that contact is exactly what Wingate did.
You know, the official has done a good job explaining things today, but he didn't explain that one very well. So it's going to be 1st and 10. Instead of the 6 will be the 19-yard line. No Jay Boyd, no D. Alford. David Johnson is out there right now with Martez Tompkins and Cameron Gurgley, Bryce Bartlett, and Malik Goodman in the secondary. I would love to see a Lakeith Brown sack in this thing the right way for him. But he's covered up, and he's actually covering the slot receiver, Riley. Williams looking, throwing. This one is incomplete.
And now we finally get the holding penalty.
I don't think it's hold. I think it's going to be a late hit on the quarterback. So another penalty. There's 28 seconds to play. Just stop creating penalties. There was plenty of hold. But Williams, running for his life, I think took a hit late, and maybe it was Strickland, but another conference. Yeah. And they got an injured Wingate Bulldog, the intended receiver, on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 53.
Jay Hood is the injured receiver, their leading receiver coming in. And with Jay Hood down, I guess I had to agree with the call just because I think it was the right thing. Hood, who was the intended target, got rolled up on after he came down, and this is the area of a clavicle, collarbone type situation here, injury.
So right here, if you'll take a look, Pioneers.
He took one step and made a hit. That's very, very close. But he did lead with the helmet too. I mean, that's another thing. You know, and that's the thing that I've been barking about. Don't lead with your helmet.
But if Richard Gravel had not have been held, the quarterback wouldn't have been still standing because he would have already been tackled.
He would have been, yeah.
So call the holding penalty that Wingate has been doing all day long.
So here are 28 seconds to play. Penalties have brought the ball from the 6 out to the 34-yard line on 2 plays. So Wingate down 8 at 25-17. No timeouts. A fresh set of downs. So Williams out of the gun. Hayes is in the backfield. Running backs have been a non-factor. Williams across the middle. He dropped it to Stokes. Stokes could not hang on to it. Lakeith Brown in coverage, and it's second down with 23 seconds to play.
And Wingate not doing themselves any favors by running around with the football. The referees did stop the clock. Of course, it's stopped because of the dropped pass. But Wingate's still trying to make something happen.
On the coverage for the Pioneers, Lakeith Brown brings up second down for the Bulldogs.
So here it is, second down and 10 from the 34-yard line. Tusculum's defense scrambling around once again. Williams out of the gun. Hayes is his personal protector in the backfield. Pioneers rushing 4. They come with the pressure. Williams gets rid of it to Hayes, has it at the 35, at the 40, and he's upended at the 48-yard line out of bounds with 15 seconds to play by Malik Goodman, but Williams just making a play, and Hayes bailed him out.
Pioneers doing everything they can, going after the quarterback, and for a backup, he certainly had a good game here today, running the ball and getting the right thing at the right time.
At the 48-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, their side of the field, down 8 with 15 seconds to play. Bulldogs have had the run of play here in the second half. We have had a total of 10 points scored in the second half, all by Wingate. Williams to pass. Across the middle, Stokes drops another one. Stokes could not hang on to it, and it's second down and 10 with 10 seconds to play.
May very well be the last play of the game if the Pioneers can get some sort of stop here. Keep putting pressure on the quarterback. Don't let the receivers get behind you.
I'll say this, if Stokes catches it, that was the last play of the game because he goes down and the clock will run. He's right in the middle of the field. So Williams gets McIlvain and Stokes to the far side. Hayes on his right shoulder. 10 seconds on the play clock, 10 seconds on the game clock. Pioneers dropping back in coverage. Williams looking, throwing, completing it to the 40-yard line with 6 seconds to play, at the 41-yard line, I should say. And there it'll be another first down. But the Pioneers gave that, but they don't want anything going behind them.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, that was the best play. Let Wingate get it. They've got a few yards, but they still have to get into the end zone, and surely this will be the last play.
So with 6 seconds, undefeated season hanging in the balance for the Bulldogs, and a chance to play spoiler by the Pioneers. Williams out of the gun. Gervale comes around the edge, heaving it toward the end zone. Knock it down. It's intercepted, and the game ends. The Pioneers win. The Pioneers win. The Pioneers knock off the conference champion Wingate Bulldogs as Malik Goodman gets the final touch. And that sophomore had a spectacular season, and the Pioneers knock off the Bulldogs.
And like I say, don't think that Wingate came in here just looking ahead to the playoffs. They needed to win to maintain first place in the region. Now that's probably not going to happen.
Well, the Wingate Bulldogs, who, to be quite honest with you, when they come to Greenville, never quite play well and did not play great here. And the Pioneers got off to the tremendously fast start, and they got up 25-0, and it was an uphill fight for the Bulldogs all the rest of the game. But, Joe, I think the key was the entire defensive line. They did not allow Pittman or Hayes to run the ball longer in the game, I think, than 7 yards for either one of those guys.
Well, we said going into the game, one of the keys contain those guys. You're not going to be able to stop them. They came close to stopping them, but they certainly did contain them, and it worked out for Tusculum.
A Pioneer victory in the regular season finale as these 19 seniors, 17 playing seniors go off on the right note as they knock off the conference champions. So twice in a year, the defending conference champions and the reigning conference champions, Tusculum wins. And they solidify a top 4 finish in the South Atlantic Conference as well, as they'll finish the year 5-5.
Next season, I want to schedule all the games here at home against somebody they're not supposed to beat for the final game of the season. That's exciting Tusculum football.
The Pioneers next year will be on the road for the final 2. The team that they'll play for their regular season finale here at home will be the Carson Newman Eagles. So you never know.
We never know.
All right, your Pioneer postgame begins here in moments. Your final score, the Pioneers. They had not defeated a ranked opponent in 2 years. They do so, and the same opponent, the Wingate Bulldogs, come in ranked. They will leave still ranked, but they will leave with a blemish mark in the loss column. Their first loss on the season comes to the Pioneers. The Tusculum Pioneers get their 13th win all time against ranked opposition. Your final score was the Tusculum Pioneers 25 and the Wingate Bulldogs 17. Your Pioneer postgame begins next on the Pioneer Sports Network.